choose BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. We brought you the early kick-off in Dingwall. Ross County losing to Rangers 2-0. The score for Michael Beale's side. Kemar Roof on target on 22. James Tavernier on 26 minutes. 3 other games kicking off in the top flight at 3 o'clock. Full commentary option of Celtic against St Johnstone. Jim Duffy will bring us all the news here on Open All Mics. We've had the team news from that game. Also from the game at Easter Road. Hibs against Livingston and Motherwell against Kilmarnock. Callum Davidson is at that one for us. We have reporters at 3 matches in the Championship this afternoon. Ayr against Dundee United, Dunfermline against Wraith Rovers and Partick Thistle against Queen's Park. Chick Young is at Somerset Park for us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Chick. Should be a good game there.
Should be, Kenny. Yeah, you're hearing the noise in the background as the teams come out, and a big United support down from Tayside to welcome their heroes who plan to get back to the top flight in one season. United, though, are a team who are going places as well. There are changes in both sides. I'm quite interested in the case of Logan Chalmers, who is on loan from Dundee United to Ayr United for the second time. Therefore, he cannot play for Ayr this afternoon. He's actually 4 loan spells in his career. He was at Broth as well, down at Tranmere, and twice here at Ayr United, and I think he's such a talented young player. Disappointed not to be seeing him today. Jack Young was signed last night on loan from Wigan Wanderers. He's on the bench for Ayr United this afternoon, and 2 changes in the United team. I'll come to that as we progress through the afternoon, Kenny. Big crowd inside, both home and away support, and of course at Somerset Park. I don't know if you've been recently, but there's huge work being done on the terracing on the far side. We'll watch that work in progress as well. This will be a smashing game, trust me.
Yeah, looking forward to it. The Championship always delivers on sports, and let's then get to a big derby match for Paul Mitchell. Dunfermline against Wraith Rovers. Good afternoon to you, Paul.
Afternoon, Kenny. Always tasty when these two teams get together. Norrie McCarthy's stand to my left is pretty full, and across to my right hand side a really good travelling support from Kirkcaldy. They've not seen their side win here in the league since August 2009. They have won here in the League Challenge Cup, but this would mean so much today. Dunfermline in the traditional traditional black and white stripes. Rather disappointingly, Kenny, it's a change kit for Wraith Rovers. They're in yellow rather than a traditional navy blue, but it's going to be a colourful occasion, no doubt about that. Plenty of attacking players on display, and the one thing I'm fairly certain of, we won't have a 0-0 here today.
Well, hopefully goals for you, Kenny Crawford at Firhill. The league leaders in action away at Partick Thistle.
Genuinely can't wait to see how this one unfolds, Kenny. Really excited about this match. 15 seconds old it is. It's just kicked off. Partick Thistle against Queen's Park. Queen's Park 5 points clear at the top of the Championship. That's unbelievable. They've played 3 games, one more than everyone else, right enough, apart from Arbroath, who they've beaten twice already this season. Such a young team the Spiders have got. Only one player over the age of 24 in their starting 11. That's Dom Thomas, who's 27 and has a decent bit of experience. Partick Thistle, not the start to the league season they've wanted. Only 1 point taken from 6 available. They want to kick-start their Championship campaign under Chris Doolan. Remember, so close to top flight football last season. A penalty shootout away from it, and can they recover from that kind of slump and get themselves back on track? Can't wait to see how this one turns out. Partick Thistle attacking down the left at the moment.
I told you the Championship always delivers. We have a goal already. Airdrie are 1-0 up against Inverness. Cali Thistle, Cameron Half with a goal there in the first minute. Goals already going in down in England. 2 potential shocks on the cards already. Arsenal 0, Fulham 1. Andres Pereira with a goal there in the first minute. And Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 1. And wouldn't you with a goal in the second minute? There was a lunchtime kick-off in England. What a start for Ange Postecoglou, his Spurs side beating Bournemouth by 2 goals to 0. A great start for the former Celtic manager down there in the English Premier League. Let's say our first good afternoon to Jim Duffy. He's hot-footed it from the off-the-ball studio. You're in place here at Celtic Park, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, over here it's a perfect day for football, and as you would expect, Celtic just
totally dominating the early part of the game. Kenny, you know, as the guys are saying, I think I heard Pat saying a little bit before, it is slightly different to the Postecoglou style, a little bit more measured, but nevertheless it's going to be a difficult afternoon for St Johnstone here.
Queen of the South scored an early goal away at Cove Rangers. Harvey Walker in the 3rd minute. Lots of early goals flying in. Let's then get to let's go to Fir Park. Callum Davidson, Motherwell against Kilmarnock. Who's on top in the very early stages here, Callum?
I'd probably say Kilmarnock. I think great chance for Armstrong just after a minute. He just cut inside. It's interesting to see how they're going to play wing back against wing back. Armstrong cut inside and he's played a little 1-2 with Vassell and a little half chance really, but probably started the better of the two teams.
What on earth have you been doing with yourself on Saturday afternoons?
I think most people probably know.
The golf course.
Golf course. So no, nice to be back. Nice to be back. This is my first actually game I've watched live in the SPFL since I've obviously left. So it's nice to get back in the action, and thanks for inviting me today.
No, it's great to have you. Have you enjoyed the break, Callum? Did you feel you needed a break?
No.
No?
But I have enjoyed it. I'll not lie to you. I think the first couple of weeks were pretty hard. I think you go through every emotion, and then after that I knew it wasn't really a time for getting another job, so I've managed to enjoy myself during the summertime, and the weather's been half decent.
Yeah, it's been not too bad this summer. Nottingham Forest 2-0 up away to Manchester United. Willie Boley with the second goal there in the 4th minute. Michael Stewart is at Easter Road for us this afternoon. What's happening in the early stages here, Michael?
Livingston have started pretty brightly. They're into Hibs half on a number of occasions, and there's yet again they've got an opportunity here down in the corner. They've got a throw in, but they've been able to get the game played in Hibs half, and obviously we're only a few minutes into the game so far, but certainly that so far it's been Livingston who territorially have had the better of the game so far. And just add to Callum Davidson playing golf, I was at a tennis club this morning and there was somebody from Stirling that was telling me about how good he is at tennis as well, and it's just sickening.
I watched him play with his daughter one day up there. It was like watching almost two professionals. I then went into the clubhouse there. They've got a squash court in there, and the name Davidson's all over the awards board there as well. Not a bad sport, I think you'd have to say. The goals flying in. Edinburgh City 1-0 up away, and Kieran Offord on 4 minutes. Hamilton Accies have had a great start to the season. Dylan Tate has them 1-0 up against Montrose after 4 minutes there. Callum, Jim Duffy is watching you, your former team at Celtic Park this afternoon. A huge challenge for them, of course. It's been a desperately poor start for them. Steve McLean is a man you obviously know well. He's part of your backroom team. How tough has he been finding it?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think when you talk about injuries, I think that's the biggest thing for me. You know, squad sizes, all sort of slightly smaller clubs in the league, when they get a lot of injuries, it's very, very difficult to cope. And I think hopefully, if you heard them talking there saying I think there's 20 players back fit again, so I think it'll be time after obviously Celtic games to start judging, you know, where they are and how they're going to go on this season.
Michael, we had a chat. I know that the line's not great. There were a few technical issues at Easter Road this afternoon. I was chatting with Leanne earlier about the pressure on Lee Johnson. I think we've been here several times over the past year.
Kenny, honestly, I've got a constant ringing in my ear, and to say that is annoying is, you know,
is that not just Kenny's voice, Michael?
Well,
it does have that impact.
Unfortunately, that is bad enough in itself, but when you've got the ringing as well, it's unbearable.
Well, listen, we'll try and get that sorted out. Obviously some technical difficulties there, but we're saying, Leanne, it is a big afternoon for Lee Johnson. It
is, yeah. No look to bounce back. The reality is I think there's a better opportunity to bounce back from that midweek defeat in current form when you're at home in front of your own fans as well. I think the Highbees have been enjoying certainly the European games. I know they were excited with the prospect of the Aston Villa match, probably until they arrived at the game the other night and realised the magnitude of the challenge that faced them. But the reality is that at home it's a game that technically on paper they should be winning this afternoon, and I'm sure Lee Johnson will have that drilled into his players. He's been perhaps forced to make a number of changes, as he alluded to. The numbers in minutes that guys like Hanlon and Stevenson have played has been quite remarkable by this point in the season, so he's looked to freshen it up. And the question will be, can you get a response in the same level or a better level of consistency from those players that have come in?
The thing is, Jim Duffy, you know, of course, the demands, the expectations of the fans at Easter Road, and Lee Johnson has been backed by the board. It's really time now for him to deliver.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a couple of the managers, Stephen and Lee Johnson, both saying that they're kind of projects and, you know, they've got new players and stuff like that. But unfortunately, as Callum has told you, sorry, there's a chance for Celtic here. So it was clear, but you don't get that time, you know, and it is very, very difficult. You understand, you want to put your own stamp on it, you want to develop your team in your own style, but you have to be winning games, particularly early on. Or else, you know, someone else unfortunately comes in and gets that role. So, yeah, I mean, it is difficult. The expectations are high. Obviously, not as high for St Johnstone as they are for Hibernian. But you know, other than the game the other night there, the European games had given him a little bit of a lip. But we saw that with Jack Ross, didn't we? With Dundee United, winning at Malmo, and then a few games later losing heavily, and then eventually losing his job. So you've got to get it right domestically.
Yeah, and important, Jim, as a young manager, Steve McLean, is to have a sounding board, someone you can go to in these tough times.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, it's always one of those ones where, you know, sometimes someone will bring someone in that's you know, the close friend or someone they've worked with or played with, and you'll get young managers. There's no written formula. You mean, you look at Airdrie, we talk about a lot of people.
Sorry, Jim, I'm just going to come in. I think we might have lost Michael, and Livingston have actually taken the lead at Easter Road.
Wow,
I'll confirm the goal scorer in a couple of minutes, but yeah, we're talking about that pressure on Lee Johnson. It's probably just been cranked up a notch or two.
Yeah, you just feel for him, Jim, it's just never quite gone away, has it? You always feel there's a time, several times throughout the season, when Lee Johnson is under big pressure.
Yeah, as you've said before, Ken, he seems to pull out a result when he needs it most, and then he gets a little run, maybe 2 or 3 games. But listen, the expectations are that Hibernian should be challenging, you know, minimum European place, you know, but certainly in the top 4. Anything below that will be seen as a failure. So they have to start getting results, because if he doesn't, then it doesn't matter. You know, we've seen it before to Hibernian. You know, you're going to lose with Sean Maloney, Jack Ross, etc. You know, they're not very forgiving when the results start to turn against you.
Yeah, I say we've got problems with the line there at Easter. We'll try and get Michael back up, Leanne. Have you had a chance to have a look?
Yeah, for the look, the delivery, a good goal from a Livingston perspective. Michael had mentioned early on the early entries into the Hibs half, and they continue that consistency down the left hand side. The delivery comes in, and it looks to me like it was Pittman at the back post that get the final touch on it. So a really positive start to the game for Livingston, and perhaps the worst possible start for Hibs.
Michael, I think you're back with us.
Yeah, yep. It's I just heard Leanne there talking about it. Terrible start for Hibs, and I mean, look, it was very early in the game, but there was a sense of, I mean, I can't remember Hibs being up in Livingston's half. It's been one-way traffic so far. Livy, you know, pushing, forcing the game, and for Hibs, they need to react. They really do, because, you know, as much as the disappointment and the drubbing of Wednesday night, there are huge, you know, contributing factors there. They need to get a result here, and if they don't, then it just continues to build the pressure on the management team here.
Michael, where do you see that pressure sitting right now? I mean, is he close to really needing to pull a few results together? I mean, what sort of pressure is he under, in your opinion?
I think there's inevitably there is pressure there. I don't think there's any doubt about it, because there has just been such a huge lack of consistency from this Hibs side that you get a good result in Luzerne, but then you're still not won domestically. Then obviously, as I said, there's mitigating factors with the Aston Villa result, but it means that you have to get a result here, and so far they're 1 down. For me, I think if this continues with Hibs and they get to the Viaplay Cup game at the end of the month and they lose that at home to St Mirren, I think that could be fatal at that point.
Michael, just your thoughts in terms of this returning leg at
First Park, sorry.
Take it away.
Yeah, great bit of play. It was a corner from Danny Armstrong, really poor corner. The ball's come back to him. He went, I think he took on Slattery, dinked the ball to the back post. I'm sure Marley Watkins heads in back post. 1-0 Kilmarnock.
What a start to the season, Leanne, for Derek McInnes and Kilmarnock. My goodness.
Yeah, they're flying, absolutely flying, and you can just see that the positive start that they've made has bred confidence into the group, and what a signing Marley Watkins has been for them. Does really well, because actually the delivery looks like it was going to be just slightly too deep for him, but he manages to get on the end and sneak it in at the back post. Really good goal.
It's interesting, Callum, isn't it? Because Derek McInnes clearly just consolidated the position in the top flight last season, and then now looking to build on that in this campaign. And in this form, they'll fancy themselves for top 6.
Yeah, definitely. There was a big clear out actually in Kilmarnock at the end of last season. He's managed to start bringing a lot of quality. We've already talked about Watkins. You've got Matty Kennedy, who's worked with before as well. So a lot of good signings. He's added a little bit of pace to his back line. So again, it's those couple of wins at the start of the season, you can see the confidence in the players, and it's a fantastic start from today.
Good start.
Callum, it's Kenny Crawford here. What do you make of David Watson? Because I saw obviously the Kilmarnock Celtic game last week. David Watson, 18 years old, but he plays like he's in his 30s with it looks as if he's got so much experience even though he's so young.
Yeah, I think so. I think for me it's his energy levels. I think sometimes we can always pigeonhole midfielders as a sitter or an advanced player. He just runs about, it's lovely to see. He flies into tackles, he gets to the box, he defends. So I think a great prospect, especially the age he's at.
We've got a save there, somewhere chance.
Aaron Comrie had the chance. The ball came in from the left-hand side from McCann. The goalkeeper pushed it away, fell into the middle of the area, and Dunfermline's Aaron Comrie let fly on the volley, got his foot up really high to meet the ball, and somehow twisting in mid-air, Dabrowski managed to turn the ball onto the post. Still goalless at East End Park.
Yes, Callum was telling us there that Marley Watkins goal on 12 minutes has Kilmarnock 1-0 away at Motherwell. Bonnyrigg Rose 1-0 away at Forfar. Neil Martinuke with a goal on 14 minutes. Elgin City have gone ahead against East Fife. Matthew Wright on 14 minutes.
Kenny, some drama here at Firhill because Queen's Park's goalkeeper is only 16 years old. That's not the drama. That's interesting. It's not the drama. But he came right to the edge of his box to catch a cross, and it was judged that he was in the box, but so many of the Thistle fans thought he caught the ball outside the box, and it caused a bit of a furore and a bit of booing here towards referee Grant Irvin at the moment and his assistant, because they felt, the Jags fans, that 16-year-old Callan McKenna caught the ball outside the box, but he lives to see another minute of this game.
Can you talk to us about Queen's Park and the style of play, because it's been a terrific start to the season?
Well, I was looking through their 11 today, Kenny. I mentioned it earlier on, one player over 24, but they've actually got 4 teenagers in the starting 11. They've got Callan McKenna, 16-year-old. They've got 2 19-year-olds, 1 17-year-old, 2 20-year-olds, 1 21-year-old. So it's such a young team when we compare that to experience Thistle have got today, likes of Brian Graham, 35, and other guys like Aaron Muirhead, 32 as well. It's a real interesting balance between youth and experience in this match today. But yeah, they're winning games. They've got 9 points from 9 in the league so far, albeit 2 games against Arbroath, who are struggling with this young squad. And it's really interesting to see 3 midfielders all called Jack in the centre of the park. Jack Thompson, Jack Spong and Jack Turner, all young and really looking to progress their careers. Robin Veldman, the Dutch coach, Marion Booker, the Dutch director of football. It's such an interesting approach Queen's Park have got, and it'll be so interesting to see the substance that's got today. Maybe the first real challenge of their grit and determination today, this Queen's Park side against Thistle.
Chance for you, Jim Duffy.
Yeah, a double save for Meadov, the St George goalkeeper. He came from a corner actually, and a well-worked corner. And Matt O'Reilly just made a run across the face, side-footed it. Keeper parried up in the air, looked as if it was maybe drifting in, but he managed to get back up on his feet again and then push it over for a corner. But yeah, Celtic got dominating in the play. Kyogo just flashed one just inches wide a few minutes ago, and St John's are hanging on it. Not like last-ditch defending, but certainly everybody back behind the ball as you would expect.
Stennis Muir 0, Dumbarton 1. Sean Crichton with a goal there on 14 minutes. What's happening in your game, Chick Young? Dundee United, the championship favourites?
Yeah, and they have had most of the pressure and possession in this match so far, Kenny. But Ayr United looked very dangerous on the break. A couple of times under pressure, and Big Francis Amartey up front has made the break. Got caught a couple of times. Oh, the wee break there for Dundee United. Goalkeeper does well, comes out, does Charlie Almondson, and saves at the edge of his box. It's a good game. Great surface at the moment at Somerset Park. And as I say, Dundee United have probably had the more pressure, more of the ball. But Ayr United look dangerous on the break. They really do.
Manchester United pulled a goal back. Christian Eriksen on 17 minutes. United 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Forest were 2-0 up in the opening couple of minutes there in that game. Kilmarnock ahead at Fir Park. Marley Watkins on 12 minutes. Any sign of a fight back, Callum, from the home side?
No, nothing yet. It was a wee sort of half chance, but you could see everything at the stadium could see it was offside. The initial through pass was about 6 yards offside. A little half chance from Motherwell, but a little bit scrappy from Motherwell. I think they needed more from the front too. The ball's just bouncing off them and allowing sort of Kilmarnock to dominate the game.
So in the top flight, it finished at lunchtime. Ross County 0, Rangers 2, Celtic 0, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 0, Livingston 1. It's come through as an Abita own goal on 8 minutes. Motherwell 0, Kilmarnock 1, Marley Watkins on 12 minutes. What a start to the season for Derek McInnes's side in the Scottish Championship. Airdrie 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Ayr United 0, Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0, Wraith Rovers 0, Morton 0, Arbroath 1, Partick Thistle 0, Queen's Park 0. In League 1, Annan Athletic 0, Edinburgh City 1, Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 1, Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 0, Stirling Albion 0, Kelty Hearts 0. It's a 5:30 kick-off. Alloa against Falkirk. In League 2 this afternoon, Elgin City 1, East Fife 0, Forfar Athletic 0, Bonnyrigg 1, Peterhead 0, Spartans 0, Stennismuir 0, Dumbarton 1, Stranraer 0, Clyde 0. And in England, lunchtime kick-off, Bournemouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Arsenal 0, Fulham 1. Yeah, take it away.
It was Harry Milne at the back post. He always comes in like that, really late but really direct with a header, downward header, saved by the foot of Callum McKenna. It was a brilliant cross, deep cross by Jack McMillan, but Harry Milne denied. Still 0-0 between Partick Thistle and Queen's Park.
With another goal in the Championship, Michael McKenna has Arbroath 1-0 away at Morton. That's in the 20th minute. In England, Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0. Kevin Shadder with a goal on 18 minutes. Let's then get back to Celtic Park. So far, so good for St Johnstone, Jim Duffy.
Yeah, I mean, they've looked relatively comfortable defensively. As I said, Dimitar Mitov has only had that one save, as I mentioned, then they kind of rebound on it. But Celtic, they're playing some nice football in the pockets. They've changed it slightly, in terms of, they play with almost like 2 10s with O'Reilly and Turnbull behind Kyogo, McGregor sitting. And a couple of lovely interchanges in the wide areas, and for once Kyogo didn't gamble on the 6-yard box. Great ball right across, and again Kyogo acknowledged straight away, hand up to say to O'Reilly, I should have been in there. Normally that's his textbook type of run, but you would imagine it would only be a matter of time before Celtic score. But so far St Johnstone will take a lot of confidence from the defending. Anything at all on the home side, Easter Road, Michael Stewart?
No. Livingston are the ones that are really pushing and looking like Joe Newbley is he's burst through about 10, and here's a shot. Elio Johan getting in at the back post and just clearing it after Joel Newbley had pushed past about 3 or 4 Hibs players. It's been a very, very poor start from Hibs. Bright from Livingston. Although you're asking if they had anything, there was just a moment a couple of minutes ago where the ball came in from Del Ferrier, and Christian Doige got across the face. He got a header. It just went over the crossbar, but in the grand scheme of things, the game is going very much in the favour of Livingston, and you can imagine the home support are not best pleased so far.
Michael, do you think Joel Newbley will be there at Livy beyond Thursday?
Michael's got previous on this. Do you not remember Davy Martindale when Michael put a price tag on Joel Newbley?
I think you're making that up, Kenny.
Oh no, I'm not making that up. He wasn't best pleased with your valuation.
Well, that's as may be, but clearly nobody's come up with whatever his valuation is for him. But, I think he's a good player, and I'm surprised that there's not been more suitors out there looking to take him in, because he's a good asset to certainly to Livingston, and I think he would be to a number of other clubs as well.
Michael, what do you do if you're Lee Johnson then?
I think he'll be here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, to answer the question, I think he'll be at Livingston. Yeah, I think he probably will be.
So,
but if I was the manager somewhere else, I'd definitely be looking to try to get him in.
What about the Hibs manager Lee Johnson? He's got this game. It's obviously done and dusted, the tie with Aston Villa. What sort of team does he take to play down there, given the run of form they're on in the league, and they're away at Aberdeen next Sunday?
Well, I said that during the game on Wednesday, after the game on Wednesday, that for me, the Hibs manager has to concentrate domestically big time, and that means no putting out a full-strength team against Aston Villa, because a full-strength team against Aston Villa is not going to make any difference to the tie, but it'll make a difference to going to Pittodrie or on the weekend after it. So he needs to start focusing on those games, and he needs to make sure he gets some results. Sorry, I didn't hear what was that.
Yeah, Jim, I think you were saying, it could, a week inside there, it could be an absolute hammering down there, Jim, couldn't it? What that does to confidence.
But look, the point is they've been hammered at home 5-0.
Yeah.
Like, the tie's over. You just got to. Look, of course there would be people talking about if they get battered 7-0 or whatever. Folk will start talking, of course they will. But that soon gets forgotten if you get results domestically. And the best way of getting results domestically is making sure you're preparing for the game at Pittodrie and not playing a full-strength team against Aston Villa. That's just my view on it.
Aston Villa probably won't play a full-strength team either, Michael, now the tie effectively is done. So Hibs could mix things up and change it. Yeah, of course it is, but I think Hibs could afford to change it, as you were saying, focus domestically.
I just don't see what the benefit is of playing a full-strength team. Okay, you keep the game down to like maybe 3-0, 4-0. I mean, you've lost 5-0 at home, and that's where your full-strength team. I just don't see the benefits of that tie's done. The scoreline's irrelevant in my eyes. The only way that you get past that is by getting results domestically. And as I said already, the best way of doing that is preparing your best team to be going to Pittodrie in the best shape possible.
Well, there's no doubt that St Johnstone are desperately in need of a result this afternoon. So far, so good at Celtic Park. Jim Duffy, just talk to us about the differences you see in this Celtic side under Brendan Rodgers compared to what we've seen the last 2 seasons under Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, just as I said, a little bit more measured. Listen, just as we're saying there, there's I'm presuming VAR will look at it. There was a challenge, a long diagonal ball played up with Alison Johnson, Graham Carey. Graham Carey immediately held his face and went down. To me, it didn't look endless, like 2 players going for the ball, but you never can tell, obviously, from a distance and an angle whether someone is throwing a forearm or what it happens to be. But just be interesting to see. But it doesn't look as if there's anything going to come of it. But I'm not sure if the referee's going to wait in VAR. But anyway, St Johnstone have got a free kick about 20 yards from Celtic's goal on the left-hand side. Graham Carey's got a terrific left foot. So this is the first time St Johnstone have an opportunity to get the likes of Constantine, McClelland and that up into the box. And they do have a little bit of presence in there. So it'll be interesting to see if they can make head from that. And the ball comes in. It's a little flick over the top. Again there from Jeffcott. Not a brilliant ball, but whipped in. Jeffcott got across the face of the defenders. Just a little flick, but harmlessly past the post. Yeah, in terms of the style, you can see there's not quite the same sprinting from the ball kids round about the stadium. They're still quick getting the ball on, but not quite at the same. You don't see the players sprinting to get the ball. As I said, it is just taken down a little bit of a notch. Again, the shape of the team, we know that the fullbacks more or less have stayed wider areas. Johnson and Taylor have stayed more wider than in the pitch, as was happening in the Postecoglou with the inverted fullbacks, and the Yang and Miada have stayed a wee bit wider. They will come in at times, of course, to let the fullbacks go in the overlap, but I would say that's more traditional, more standard play rather than the way they were playing under Postecoglou. So still dominating the balls you'd expect under Brendan Rodgers' team, but really haven't threatened to go enough for me.
Kenny, part of
that should be ahead. Easter Road, Kenny.
Sorry, on you go, Michael.
With David Marshall's gone down, it was a great bit of play from Livingston. Joel Newbley slipped the ball in behind for Penrice.
Should have been a goal for Celtic.
Right, Kenny Crawford.
It's Kerr McInroy. He was the guilty party a little minute ago. That's what I was going to say. He missed a great chance about 30 seconds ago, but this time he's got on the end of a Stevie Lawless cutback. About 8 yards out, side footed it past Callum McKenna. No chance for the 16-year-old goalkeeper that time. It's 1-0 Partick Thistle, Kerr McInroy.
Thanks, Kenny Crawford. Big chance for you there, Jim Duffy.
Yeah, Celtic should have scored quite simply. Lovely play down the left-hand side. Callum McGregor broke beyond the defenders, cut it back. He's about 8 yards out, right in the middle of the goal. O'Reilly, and it's on his favoured left foot. He doesn't have to break his stride. He just had to pick a corner. Dimitar Mitov was going one way but stuck out a big boot. Managed to save it with his feet, but Celtic's definitely should have been 1-0 up. An excellent chance for O'Reilly, one he should have taken.
That's a brilliant save from Mitov,
yep.
Jim, and it's not the first one that he's made this afternoon. He had that double save that eventually went behind for the corner. He looks a real good asset to St Johnstone, and I think when you're the players in front of him that are backs to the wall at times, and you know that he's got a save or two like that in his locker, it fills you with confidence, does it not?
Yeah, it does, but I still think O'Reilly should have scored, Leanne. It's a great save, and no credit to the goalkeeper for spreading himself and making it difficult, but he should have scored.
Back to you, Michael. There was an incident there at Easter Road.
Yeah, it's David Marshall still getting treatment from the physios. As I said, great play from Livingston, ball in behind from Joel Newbley inside Harbottle, and Penrice fizzed it across the face. Pittman was inches away from getting it into the back of the net, and instead he clattered into David Marshall, the two of them trying to get to the ball, and it fizzed right across the face without anybody ending up getting a touch on it. But thankfully he's upstanding now. Looks as if he could and should be okay to continue, but another moment of danger for Hibs defensively. Livingston still very much on top.
Yeah, they're really struggling, Lee Johnson's side. If this continues and is the full-time scoreline, that'll be 3 games played in the league and 3 defeats next weekend. They're away at Aberdeen, and my goodness, what a fantastic performance from Barry Robson's side in Europe midweek. Dumbarton are 2-0 up away at Stenhousemuir. Ross McLean with a goal there on 29 minutes. What a start to the season, and also to the game this afternoon for Kilmarnock. Marley Watkins has him ahead after 12 minutes away at Motherwell. What's happening there, Callum Davidson?
Yeah, just a great chance there from Motherwell. Vassell, that's why I don't want the strikers back in their own penalty box. He tried to shield it out. Slattery's nicked the ball off him, he's cut it back. Spittler's had a half chance, and the keeper's made a good save, but it's probably the best sort of attacking play we've seen from Motherwell. Again, I repeat myself, the 2 strikers have got to do more for Motherwell. Allowed them to get a foothold. They've had a lot of possession, and every time he goes forward, just breaking down, not allowing Motherwell to get any kind of sort of authority in the game.
Callum, Derek McInnes is obviously a hugely experienced manager. You'll come up against him many times. What's the key to his success? How would you describe him as a manager?
Probably a bit ruthless. Obviously he signed me when I came back to St Johnstone, but what he does, he's very thorough. You find that he basically doesn't want to lose first and foremost, and I think that's probably the key to sort of all success. You don't lose goals, you know, and then he builds his team round about it. Very demanding of his players. You know, they know their jobs, and he's got that experience now. He's probably a little bit calmer. I did speak to him last week, and he did say he was a little bit calmer on the sidelines, which I wasn't quite sure about. We'll wait to see. We'll get a VAR decision and see how he reacts to that.
First yellow card of the afternoon at East End Park.
But you know, but again, he's got that sort of blend of sort of youth and experience in his team. And a couple of leaders in there, which he knows the experience he's got in this level. He knows he needs a few of them, and you look at the Kilmarnock team, and especially today on this show, and you've got Armstrong one side and Kennedy the other side, 2 very good football players who will cause problems for a lot of teams in this league. Yeah,
he's built a good side. A yellow card for you there, Paul?
Yeah, and it's for somebody who's not on the pitch, so it's going to be one of the managers, James McPhee. And I think, Kenny, what that is reflecting is the fact that Raith Rovers are controlling this game. I think they've got at least 60% possession at the moment. They haven't tested the goalkeeper, Harry Sharp, but they really are playing well, the ball about, and I think that frustration's boiled over to the technical area, and a yellow card for the home manager.
Paul, I think that's a theme for the afternoon, yellow cards for people who are not in the pitch, because we've had one at Firhill as well, and it's not a manager, it's a substitute. Alex Bannon, the young defender for Queen's Park, he got booked a few minutes ago by referee Grant Irvin because he kicked the ball before it had gone out of play. Here's Brian Graham. Goal! Brilliant goal by Brian Graham, his 4th goal of the season. Stephen Lawless floated across. He took it first time, low into the bottom right-hand corner. Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 0.
Yeah, they really needed that this afternoon, Thistle, didn't they? I mean, Jim Duffy, we were at the playoff game, the first leg of the playoff game against Ross County. He's such an integral part of Thistle's success, Brian Graham. He's developed into such an experienced striker, hasn't he? He's a great player, a great leader for that team.
Yeah, well, you had Callum talking about Derek saying, you know, formula for getting leaders in the dressing room and, you know, strong characters, and there's none stronger than Brian Graham. Absolutely essential to any success Partick Thistle might hope to achieve this season.
Got a chance there in the background.
Two fabulous saves in a row. Actually, this game is taking a sunny afternoon nap. I was just a bit dozing off myself, the lack of excitement, but in the last couple of seconds it's come alive a little bit. William Holt there with a tremendous snapshot outside the boot. Goalkeeper makes a great save. It's not totally cleared yet, and before that there was a shot from Declan Glass, a quite fabulous save from Charlie Albinson, got that over the crossbar. So now we've got Dundee United knocking on the door, and we've all woken up a little bit, because if we had dozed off, it was a pretty average game. Always a chance for United now.
It's a goal for Queen's Park. They've pulled one back. Rudy Payton, he's the man who got them 25, or got Queen of the South 25 goals last season. He's up to 7 for Queen's Park this season. The ball broke to him on the edge of the box. He took it left-footed and past Jamie Snedden. So all of a sudden the Spiders are back in it. Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 1.
And also a second
Kenny,
goal for Airdrie, Callum Gallagher in 32 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, Kenny, I called that as a miss. Actually, Louis Moult is absolutely raging. He was going to head the ball and he got to it, but put it past the post. And I thought, what a miss. He's claiming his shirt was tugged quite clearly for him, and he indicated that to the referee. And United believe they should have, Dundee United that is, believe they should have had a penalty kick. Didn't get it. Game's gone to the other end. No VAR in the Championship, remember, but I would like to have seen that again.
A quick fire double for Ross McLean for Dumbarton. They are now 3-0 up away at Stenhousemuir. So your latest score lines across the country this afternoon. The lunchtime kickoff, Ross County 0, Rangers 2, Kemah Roof on 22, James Tavernier a great goal on 26 minutes. Celtic 0, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 0, Livingston 1. That's gone down as an Obita own goal in that game. Motherwell 0, Kilmarnock 1, Marley Watkins on 12 minutes. Into the Championship, Airdrie 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Ayr United 0, Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0, Wraith Rovers 0, Morton 0, Arbroath 1, Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 1. Yes.
What a save that was. Kevin Dabrowski going down low at his right hand side. Joe Chalmers it was, about 23 yards out, trying to curl it low into the bottom corner. Big Polish goalkeeper got down well, turned it behind for a corner. That Dunfermline's best moment in the last 15 minutes or so.
Into League One, Annan Athletic 0, Edinburgh City 1, Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 1, Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 0, Stirling Albion 0, Kelty Hearts 0, 5:30 Alloa at home to Falkirk. In League 2, Elgin City 1, East Fife 0, Forfar Athletic 0, Bonnyrigg Groves 1, Peterhead 0, Spartans 0, Stenhousemuir 0, Dumbarton 3, Stranraer 0, Clyde 0. And in England this afternoon, Arsenal 0, Fulham 1, Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0, Wolves 0, Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 2, 5:30 Brighton at home to West Ham, and it finished at lunchtime, Bournemouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. That's you right up to date. In fact, Edinburgh City have now gone 2-0 up away at Annan Athletic. Innes Murray with a goal there on 33 minutes. What's happening, Jim Duffy, at Celtic Park?
Yeah, just similar to what's been happening the first 35 minutes gone now, Kenny, and it's just been Celtic dominating the ball, but most of it is in and around the St Johnstone box, but very little in the box. You know, as we mentioned, Dimor Mitov had a fantastic save from Matt O'Reilly, and you know, another one where he just parried over the bar from a set play. But you know, he hasn't had to do too much else. Defence in front of him very well. Marshall be Considine, Phillips in front of him, screening it. You know, been very, very disciplined. Haven't given away any cheap free kicks. You know, haven't left Celtic any space to create. And you know, Ben Rodgers has got a bit of thinking to do to try and you know, open up this St Johnstone rearguard. It's as poor, Jim, as I've seen Celtic in the final third, I would need to say, when I look at some of the decisions being made. Even Maeda a couple of minutes or so ago took a shot on from outside the box. It went wildly crazy, you know, beyond the goal. Always over that one. Even a lot of the cutbacks and crosses into the box, a bit lacklustre. Crosses going beyond the back post. It just does not look like it's got the same, I don't know, level of ruthlessness that we've seen in you know, the previous season anyway. I agree with you, and I think that's coming from the supporters as well. There's not the same intensity from the fans, you know, that same volume of noise that normally drives Celtic forward, normally started with the Green Brigade in the corner. It's a little bit subdued, and I think the players are, you know, kind of falling into that trap. But other than O'Reilly, I think he's the only one with a wee bit of spark. You know, there's no one really grabbing the game with the scruff in there. 100% agree with you. Yeah, there's nobody really going beyond the front line. Normally you've got, whether it was the fullbacks, you know, that were coming in inverted and going beyond, or the wide players that would start wide and came in the pitch and get to the byline. It all looks pretty, you know, straightforward for St Johnstone to keep the front three of Maeda, Kyogo and Yang in front of them and just screen the ball and just plug those gaps.
Goal, Wraith Rovers!
Yes, Paul Mitchell.
Well, they were trying to shepherd the ball out for a goal kick, but somehow Callum Smith managed to get the cross into the 6-yard box, and right at the near post, Sam Stanton it was who got the flick past Harry Sharp. Such an acute angle, but he sent it right across goal into the far corner. They deserved the lead. They've been the better side. It's Dunfermline Athletic 0, Wraith Rovers 1.
I just wonder, Paul, could they be dark horses for the title? There's been serious investment at that club.
They have passed Dunfermline around off this pitch so far. They've just kept control. They've not. Ironically, I mean, Dunfermline had 2 chances. One came from a deflection, the other from a shot outside the box, but it's been all Wraith Rovers. They've controlled this game. I'm liking what I'm seeing at the moment. They've got, a nice touch in midfield between Brown and Byrne, really solid in front of the back 4, and that was a great little goal from Sam Stanton. Lovely little flick of the head, and they deserve to be ahead.
Yeah, Wraith Rovers, a good start for them today. Of course, they ran Hibs very close in the League Cup. Speaking of Hibs, Michael Stewart, any response from Lee Johnson's side?
Here's a chance, comes to nothing. Eli Yuhan was down the left-hand side. There's a few Hibs players that are trying to inject a little bit of something into the game. Here's Joe Newell, done really well. He's clipped it in. The ball's cleared away though. But look, you're putting as the Livy side who have got their tails up now. They've got themselves in front. They're away from home, and there's something to hang on to. And they've got players that can get them, as we've already mentioned already, up the park and posing some threats for Hibs. But at the moment, yes, there is a little bit of a reaction from Hibs as they try to get something back before half-time here.
Michael, where do you see the weaknesses? What are the problems with this Hibs side? Why are they not functioning?
Defensively, they're not good enough, first and foremost. And then, I think you've got to understand and appreciate that it is early in the season. They've been playing, games in Europe, so you wouldn't say that this is a full-strength Hibs side, because they've obviously put a lot of effort into the game on Wednesday, which is clearly going to impact the games at the weekend. And I think just all of those little factors are compounding into the position where they are now. That they've lost the first 2 league games. They're losing the 3rd game here just now, and it's far from ideal. But fundamentally, defensively, I don't think they're good enough. And I think when you look at the top end of the park, they've got players that I think over the course of the season are going to cause teams problems and score goals and be dangerous. But they've not got the best balance in there. The whole starting 11, defensively not strong enough, danger at the top end of the park, but still don't. Kenny, I said this to you after a couple of months, last season. Not totally sure what their style is, or what is their identity, what is it they're trying to do, and I think it's still the same. I've got a lot of questions about. I'm not really sure what it is that they're trying to do.
No doubt they're missing Kevin Nisbet. He's on target for Millwall this afternoon, beating Stoke City by 1-0. Annan had pulled a goal back at home to Edinburgh City. Dominic Docherty on 37 minutes. So Annan 1, Edinburgh City 2. That's you right up to date with all the latest scorelines. Let's then get back to Callum Davison. He's at Fir Park for us this afternoon. What's your assessment of this first half as it draws to a close, Callum?
Yeah, I think Stuart will be pretty disappointed with how they've played. There was just a little break there. Matty Kennedy went down injured. It looks like he's brought them together. I think he's had a little change of formation. I think he's gone Theo Bair up front, and he's stuck Spittle and Efford in behind to a 3-4-3, because again he had to do something. There wasn't a lot there for Motherwell. It's been quite quiet the last 5-10 minutes in the game. Motherwell haven't had a lot of joy going forward, so it looks like he's had a little change of formation. Derek McInnes will be a lot happier between the 2 managers.
Callum, you'll feel for Lee Johnson. You went through a tough spell yourself after the great success you had, the double cup success, but it was tough times for you obviously last season. Just how tough, how lonely a place is it as a manager when your side struggles?
Yeah, it is. But unfortunately it's part of the game. Probably what I've found is you probably have to really enjoy the good times as well. Probably didn't enjoy them quite as much. The first year in management, and is very successful. I think, this is great, and then you realise things you can't control happen, and for me that was the hardest bit to deal with. Whether selling players, injuries, suspensions, whatever it was, it's some things you can't control. So yeah, it's a tough one. The only thing I would say, I got annoyed my last game. I changed my formation, which annoyed me, and it still sits to me this day. I changed my formation because I was told if I didn't win the game I was out.
Sorry, just take us back. So was it your final game?
Yeah, my final game. If I didn't win it, I knew that was gone.
Wow.
So I changed my formation. I just thought, we'll have a go. And to this day, I wish because I was always strong when we won the cups. I stayed the formation. even though there was people asking me to change it and put 2 strikers up front, I stuck to my formation, stuck to my guns, and it's the only thing that really annoys me from that last little period that I went to a back 4.
So Callum, that was said to you before what kick-off that day or that week? Just
that
talk
week,
us through that week.
Just that week, obviously.
Do you think that's fair that you get told that? I mean, that's a ridiculous situation, is it not?
Nah, just football. That's, for me, it's just football. I've heard it so many times, so you just have to get on with it. It's one of those, just disappointed because we're 9th in the league at the time. For St John's to be 9th in the league isn't too bad. We would all like to be higher, but I think it was a rebuild of a squad, and I felt we were in a good position. We had the bottom 6 to play. So again, for me, it was a little bit disappointing.
Callum, can I ask you a question about Theo Bair? I imagine you'll be watching him with interest today. Is that one of the signings that you had at St Johnstone that really needed to work and just didn't?
I think so. I think it's hard. I think when you sign it, that was the January transfer window. I could go into whole detail about that type of window and how difficult it was. With Theo, he was signed more on potential rather than to make an impact. So again, for me, Theo was a good athlete, just has that understanding of the game. He had to get better, and it just didn't quite click when he was here.
Were you given any opportunity at all, Callum, to put your case forward? So I need more time. We get the bottom 6 to play. I'm confident we can turn this around.
Yeah, definitely I did. I had a great relationship with the chairman. It's nothing. I've got nothing against it. It's just football. It was just timing. I think timing's a massive thing in football. Whether you're going to another club or you're getting sacked. So I think it's all to do with timing. I had a great relationship with him, and I still do to this day. So it's one of those things that, I want to stay on, but ultimately, if results are poor, there's only one person that leaves.
I think I know the answer to this. Despite the bad times there, you'll be desperate to get back in?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously come today's, obviously sort of, got my enthusiasm back. I never lost my kind of enthusiasm for it. It just gives you a little break, a little bit of clarity in where you were. Desperate to get back in at some point. Hopefully it'll happen soon.
Would you do things differently, Callum, if you got back in? Is it giving you a bit of time to reevaluate like that? Stick to your principles perhaps, but I suppose the psychology of the game does that and gets you at times. Yeah,
I think so. I only really changed my principles in the last game. So for probably the other year and a half, I think there's other things that I could do better, which you always learn. But I had confidence in what I was doing, and I still believe I was doing a good job when I left. So that was the biggest thing for me, and I knew the situation we were in. I was realistic. I wasn't one of those, that we should be we're struggling with our budget, blah blah blah. I never try and use that as an excuse. I just thought we were rebuilding the team again, and this transfer window was going to be really key again with 3 or 4 more players.
You were a victim of your own success, effectively.
Yeah, I would have much rather done the other way around. My third season, win the cups and getting to Europe rather than doing my first season. But
such is football.
Such is football. But I wouldn't change it anyway.
Thank you for being so candid. Great to have you on. Yep, chance, Summer.
Great chance there for Motherwell. It's actually their best opportunity of the game. It was a great ball by O'Donnell, and the young lad Spencer's coming back posting for me. Should have done better. He was 6 yards out. He side-footed it right over the bar. It was a great chance for Motherwell. It's the best bit of action they've had so far.
Dumbarton are cruising now, 4-0 away at St Square. James Hilton with the latest goal in 42 minutes. My goodness, this sounds like a very, very good first half performance from St Johnstone this afternoon, Jim Duffy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just coming up. The boards have been up for 2 minutes. Celtic are just another chance in the box just now. O'Reilly, but it looks as if it's going to be cleared again. But yeah, just coming to half time. If they can just see this last minute out, St Johnstone will be a terrific first half from Stephen McLean's side.
Yeah, they're going very, very well. Goalless there.
Callum Davison.
And I think Stevie didn't change his shape though. That was the thing.
Jim, you're very experienced in the game. What do you make of that? Has that happened to you before, where you get told that before a game that if you don't win it, that's it?
No, but I do know other managers happen to, and I think it's one of those statements where that if you win that game, when you've had that statement, it's going to be inevitable you're going to get the sack anyway. If it's not that game, it's going to be the game after it. So you're under enough pressure as managers without boards saying that to you. It was well just sacking you in the Friday, regardless, and just saying, listen, we don't think it's going right. I mean, to say that you'd stay in a game, stay in a job just for one result is nonsense. So if you're either doing a good job or you're not doing a good job, then you understand the consequences. But I mean, I've known several managers over the years where that's been said to them. And as I said, you get to that last game, with you just knowing that even if you do win the game, the likelihood is that a week or two later you'll have a similar conversation.
It didn't help when Stephen Kelly stuck one in the stanchion after 5 minutes, and then I just sat back down the bench and went, great.
It's a tough business. A half-time score, Morton 0 at Broth 1. Yes, Jim.
Half-time here at Celtic Park, Celtic 0, St Johnstone 0.
Great so far for St Johnstone. Just looking at the stats for that game.
That's
yes, Chip.
Kenny, that's the relief of the half-time whistle at Somerset Park.
You promised us a good game as well.
United 0. Started off the first
half-time here at Fir Park, 1-0 Kilmarnock.
So far so good. What a start the season for Dermot. Just looking at the match stats here at Celtic Park, 73% possession for the home side, 9 shots, 2 on target, 8 corners, 1 shot so far for St Johnstone, none on target. So still playing in Easter Road. Michael Stewart, the natives here must be getting restless.
Yes, but as I said, it's been slightly better as the first half is going on. But yeah, I mean, look, it's not a great situation for Hibs here. They've not really been able to test Shamal George too much, although there's an opportunity here. Johan's in behind, but again, you know, how often do you see it when he gets into a good position? Just that final ball is not there. Ball goes behind for a bye kick for Livingston now. Hibs are claiming, I'm not particularly sure what it is they're claiming for. They're obviously wanting a penalty, but I'm not convinced that. It's not a great first half here at Easter Road for Hibs, especially off the back of the disappointment of Wednesday and also 2 league defeats of the campaign so far.
Yeah, Kenny Cropper, are you still there?
Yeah, a bit of added time here at Firhill. It's been an absolutely brilliant first half. I think the whistle's going to go any minute. Queen's Park have got a free kick. Dom Thomas is going to take it about 30 yards out. But absolutely phenomenal first half of football here. Really enjoyed it, Kenny, and I think we'll get more goals after the break.
Yeah, Ken, you mentioned the yellow card. I've got a text in saying from someone saying at Firhill, apparently the ball out for a goal kick to Queen's Park. Before it goes out of play, a Queen's Park sub warming up stops it with his foot.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain just before Brian Graham kind of popped up and scored a goal. He's a bit annoying like that.
So referee cautions the Queen's Park player and restarts.
Yep.
With a direct free kick to Thistle, but it should have been a drop ball.
Yeah, well, it was right over near the corner flag, so it wasn't particularly anywhere dangerous, but yeah, that was what happened.
Half-time at East End Park, Dunfermline 0, Wraith Rovers 1.
Thanks,
Sam Stanton with the only goal of the game, Kenny.
Yeah, thank you to Paul Mitchell there. I just saw another goal going in. Queen of the South 0-2 up away at Cove Rangers. Regan Minwell with a goal in the 49th minute there. So just waiting on the half-time score.
That's half-time at Firhill now, Kenny. So it's Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 1, and I don't think that'll be the end of the goals.
Yeah, it's been a great game there so far, no doubt about that. So just your game playing there at Easter Road. Michael Stewart, Livy, good value for the 1-goal lead.
Yep, they are, very much so. It's approaching half-time now. Hibs are trying to make a 40 forward here. It's another chance. Joe Newell's out in the wide area. He's cutting back inside. It's all just a little bit slow. You know, Livingston are able to get loads of bodies back in and snuff out any danger. And it's pretty important that Hibs, if they have got any ambitions in the second half of getting something for this game, they've got to do things quicker. They've got to be better quality, but they've got to do things quicker. It's been very, very slow and pedestrian in this first half from the home side.
Yeah, they really are struggling, Hibs, this season, no doubt about that. Again, just looking at the match stats in that game, they are dominating possession, 62%, 5 shots to Livy's 2 on target, but Livy could have been 2-0 up in that game. It was an own goal, it's down as an own goal, certainly an Abita own goal in that match. In the 8th minute, we will hear from Hibs fans late in the programme. Remember, at 5:30 until 7 o'clock, it's a chance to hear from fans. So much to debate in Scottish football this afternoon. Interesting to hear what Celtic fans have got to say. A lot of them not happy at the start under Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers not happy with the strength of the squad. They've been severely hit by injury. Michael Stewart, I'm guessing that's half-time?
Half-time. Yep, half-time at Easter Road. It's 1-0 to the visitors.
Yeah, you can hear the boos in the background there in that game at Easter Road. So I'll do a full classified half-times for you, and we'll go around all the grounds and get the reports. Some big stories developing in Scottish football this afternoon. Stay with us right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
Chance! And it's a goal! Oh, what a goal!
All the action from all the biggest games.
Oh, it's the second goal!
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
So the classified halftime scores for you: Celtic 0, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 0, Livingston 1, Motherwell 0, Kilmarnock 1. In the lunchtime kick-off, it finished Ross County 0, Rangers 2. Into the Championship, Airdrie 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, United 0, Dundee United 0, Dunfermline 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Morton 0, Arbroath 1, Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 1. In League 1, Annan Athletic 1, Edinburgh City 2, Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 2, Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 0, Stirling Albion 0, Kelty Hearts 0, 5:30 kick-off, Alloa at home to Falkirk. In League 2, Elgin City 1, East Fife 0, Forfar 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Peterhead 0, Spartans 0, Stenishmuir 0, Dumbarton 4, Stranraer 0, Clyde 0. And in England this afternoon, it finished at lunchtime. A fantastic win for Ange Postecoglou's Spurs side, winning 2-0 away at Bournemouth. Half-time, Arsenal 0, Fulham 1, Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0, Wolves 0, Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 2. 5:30, Brighton are at home to West Ham United. Let's then get to our commentary game this afternoon. It's at Celtic Park. Celtic against St Johnstone. There for us, Pat Bonner and Alistair Lamond.
Yeah, 0-0, half-time, Kenny, for all Celtic's domination of the ball and their attacking play. They haven't been able to find a way through. A well-organised St Johnstone team and a good goalkeeper, you'd have to say, so far in Dimitar Mitov. Celtic, they have created a couple of really good chances. Kyogo flashed one just wide on the volley after 11 minutes. A good ball in from Alistair Johnson, and normally you would expect Kyogo to burst the net. On this occasion it flew just off target. 5 minutes later, Turnbull fed Matt O'Reilly from a corner kick, and the volley was a really good save from Mitov, and he got back up to push it over the bar as well, as it threatened to just fall back down and go over the line for the Celtic opening goal. It didn't come at the other end. Graham Carey won a free kick and then flighted it in himself, where Luke Jeffcott flashed an effort not too far wide, the only real threat on Joe Hart's goal in that first period. And then a minute after that, 27 minutes in, Turnbull again linking with McGregor, and then O'Reilly came rushing in. Again, it looked like he would hit the back of the net, but it was a good reaction save from Mitov to keep it out of the net. That was pretty much that in terms of clear-cut opportunities. St Johnstone, despite the fact that it's very much a new-look side, have defended well. They look well organised. They haven't really been able to get too far up the park at any great stage, Parky, but really the onus is on Celtic, of course, to come out and pick them apart.
Yeah, Celtic need that goal, don't they? You know, they did create the chances. They weren't. There was a couple of good saves from the goalkeeper, and they weren't able to get a ball in the net, and that then settled almost St Johnstone into a defensive mode, and they've done well then into that half-time with Celtic loads and loads of possession in and around the box. It's a bit slow from Celtic. You know, the starting point is back with the two centre halves. It's a wee bit slow. It needs to be improved. It needs to be wrapped in a little bit quicker into people when they pick up good positions. And I've also got, you know, it's apparent to me that inside the box there needs to be a little bit more quickness and movement, especially across that front post when there was lots of good balls flashed in there, but they didn't get. But St Johnstone would be very, very happy being at half-time 0-0.
Yeah, they'd be even happier if it was the same scoreline in 90 minutes, but Celtic with 45 minutes to find a way through. Half-time at Celtic Park, Celtic 0, St Johnstone 0.
Thank you to Alistair Lamond and to Pat Bonner there. Let's then get to Easter Road. Could a big story be developing this afternoon? Hibs against Livingston. There for us, Michael Stewart.
Well, it certainly could, Kenny. It's a poor performance from Hibs in the first half. They find themselves 1-0 down, and it's been pretty much one-way traffic in the early parts of the half. Livingston started very, very brightly, and they were able to create a couple of opportunities and cause some problems for the home side, and it was only in 8 minutes when they got their noses in front. Great play down the left-hand side with Penrice putting the ball across the face of the goal. It's gone down as an Abito own goal. It could well have been a number of other players from Livingston. I think Pittman was in there as well, looking to force it over the line, and Hibs didn't really have any reaction. It was slow, ponderous, pedestrian from the home side, and it was Livingston up until those stages that were looking the more likely to get their noses in front even further, and same sort of opening. Joel Newbley down the left hand side played a lovely little slide rule pass into Penrice's path again, ball right across the face of the goal. It was almost a carbon copy of the goal. This time though they weren't able to get the ball into the back of the net, and it was a coming together, and David Marshall got a bit of a sore one. Fortunately for Hibs, he was okay. As the half's worn on, Hibs have been a little bit better, but really, if they've got any ambitions of getting anything out of this game, they'll have to up their game massively in the second half, increase the intensity and the tempo in the game, and if they don't, well, as you said right to get there, it would be a big scoreline and a big story, because it'd be 3 league games and 3 league defeats for Hibs if they don't turn this around.
Yeah, and you'd have to say, when we saw the fixtures at the start of the season, it looked fairly favourable for Lee Johnson's side in the opening games. It's going to get a whole lot tougher away at Aberdeen next Sunday. Let's see what develops in the second half at Easter Road. What a terrific first half for Derek McInnes and his Kilmarnock side. They're away at Motherwell this afternoon. There for us, Callum Davidson.
It's Kilmarnock at half time. I think Derek McInnes will be extremely happy. I think Kilmarnock have been the better team. After 5 minutes, it was great bit of attacking play by Armstrong on his right hand side, put the ball back post. Watkins there with a header. From that, settled them down. I think they're the team that have been on the sense. They had a great chance. Young Watson put a fantastic ball into Vassell, who just flashed wide. Little chances for Motherwell towards the end of the half. Obviously Spittle with a chance, and Spencer back post, but I think the key players for Motherwell second half are going to be Slattery and Spittle. They're the ones with a bit of quality. They're the ones that will be able to drag Motherwell back in. For Kilmarnock, I think it's obviously Kennedy and McGuinness down this left hand side who are causing all the problems. McGuinness is drifting into little pockets. It's allowing them Watkins to make runs. Vassell's holding up well for Kilmarnock, so I think it might be a little change. Motherwell half time. He did tweak the formation just before the half time whistle, so we'll be interested to see how they start the second half. They need to get the fans behind them. They haven't really had much to shout about, so we'll see how the start of the second half goes.
Thank you to Callum Davidson. Full second half action to come right here on BBC Radio Scotland. There's an option of commentary from Celtic Park, Celtic against St Johnstone, all the other games and all the goal news on Open All Mic. Stay tuned for that. Our first commentary of the day came from Dingwall, Rangers beating Ross County by 2 goals to 0. Kemar Roof and James Tavernier. Let's now hear the thoughts of the Rangers manager Michael Beale. He spoke with our reporter Rob McLean.
Michael, how good was that first half from Rangers?
Really strong, exactly what we wanted. We knew we'd come here today and Ross County would have a go at us, and I knew that people would think, well, where's their eyes? Our eyes were firmly on this game, and I think the start to the game showed that. We had a couple of chances with Cyril just before we scored. Delighted for Kamara, obviously, and James with a special goal. Gets us in a good place. From then you like to kick on, and we did have big chances to extend the lead. I thought Malky switched things up second half really well, and they gave us some problems, but I'm delighted with a clean sheet, because I think the front two for them, plus Sims and Dandu, are going to cause teams problems this season.
That was exactly what you wanted from Kemar Roof, wasn't it? And obviously you're going to use him carefully, and you took him off after an hour, but it was a great goal.
Yeah, my faith in Kem is really big, because I get to see him every day, and I'm just delighted for him. And, you know, he's a leader in our team, and we've been missing him for a long time, and I think for his teammates as well, it's lovely for them, because they've seen what he's had to go through to get back. So as everybody, staff, teammates, and I'm sure the fans as well, are delighted for Kemar.
You would be pleased with aspects of the second half as well, because Ross County were more competitive, I think, second half. You'd show different qualities.
Yeah, they were a little bit more direct, and they threw more players forward looking for the chance. They had the big chance, didn't they, with White straight after half-time. I thought once we brought Rabbi and Abdullah on, it stretched the game out, and in those moments I'm expecting us to maybe go and increase the lead, because we had big chances. But no, it was a competitive second half. I would like us to have shown a bit more composure at times, but the way the game was, they did have a high line, and it's there, you know, to go and run in behind. So look, if you can't score the third, make sure you keep the clean sheet. That's a good trait, and I'd like to see us keep more now.
You got Tom Lawrence on the pitch as well, which is significant.
Yeah, similar to Kamar, like at his age and the experience he's got, there are leaders in our dressing room, and they've been stolen from us, or we've been lost to us for over a year now, the pair of them. So they come back in. We've got a lot of new players coming into the league for the first time. So on days like today, you know, coming up here and the way the game is, it's important that some of the more experienced lads step up. So I thought we got the blend quite right today, and it's lovely to have Tom back.
You can think about Eindhoven on Wednesday now. How confident do you feel?
Well, the team's showing good signs. It seems to be improving with every single game. Obviously, the setback of the first game of the season knocked us back a little bit. Took the stuff in, and the anxiety and the excitement in the fans probably was dulled a little bit. But the last few games, I think we've really made steps in the right direction. So we go there in a good place. No injuries, everyone fit, everyone looking forward to it. And what have we got to lose? So let's go and have a right good go at the game.
Yeah, full coverage of that game on Wednesday evening on Sports, and looking at the live table. Celtic 7 points, Kilmarnock 7 points, Rangers 6, St Mirren 6. St Mirren are in action tomorrow at home to Aberdeen. Let's then go into our championship matches this afternoon. Fair to say, Chick Young, not a classic for you down there at Somerset Park.
Ayr United 0, Dundee United 0, scoreline that was included by the half-time announcer as he ran through the scores throughout the country, as if the people here in the ground hadn't noticed. I couldn't blame them if it dozed off during that first half. It was not a classic. There were a couple of moments, Kenny. There was a fantastic double save from Charlie Albinson. There's been a couple of threats from Dundee United and the occasional breakaway from Ayr United, but there's been a lot of huffing and puffing in the middle of the park. Just put this down as not a thriller so far, and pray for a dazzling second half.
We can only but hope. There's a choice of listening now. Full commentary of Celtic against St Johnstone, tuned to BBC Radio Scotland on digital, Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave, and for Open All Mics, choose BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
All the action.
From all the biggest games.
This is Sports Sound.
Oh, it's a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Another goal!
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. We heard the half-time report from Somerset Park from Chick Young. Let's stay in the Championship and get to East End Park. Paul Mitchell is there for us. Dunfermline against Raith Rovers.
And it's Raith Rovers lead by 1-0, Kenny. A slightly subdued derby, partly because the home side, while they've tested Kevin Dabrowski in the Raith goal, it's the visitors who've silenced the home support, holding the majority of the possession, plus they've had the cutting edge when it's counted. Dunfermline's Aaron Conway had the first chance after Dabrowski pushed a cross away. He met it well, only to see the ball touched onto the post. The goalkeeper twisting and contorting in mid-air to make the save. Home side's frustration evident when home boss James McPake was yellow carded for his observations on the game, shall we say. And more misery for the Powers was to follow. A failure to clear the lines in 36 minutes allowed Callum Wilson to whip an across. Sam Stanton met it at the near post. Wonderful glancing header to get it to the far side of the net. We've just kicked off for the start of the second half here, and it's Dunfermline really need to try and find a way into this game. They trail by 1-0.
Thank you to Paul Mitchell. Kenny Crawford is at Firhill this afternoon. Partick Thistle against Queen's Park, Kenny.
Yeah, the sides are out for the second half, just waiting on Grant Irvin to blow his whistle. All three goals in this game, 2-1 to Partick Thistle, were scored in a 6-minute spell midway through the first half. Kerr McInroy side-footed past Callan McKenna for his first goal. He's on loan from Kilmarnock. So that put Thistle 1-0 up. Brian Graham, the evergreen Brian Graham, scored in the 30th minute. A brilliant first touch to cushion in Stephen Lawless's floated cross to score his fourth of the season. They looked as if they were comfy, Partick Thistle, but then Queen's Park reminded the Jags that they were there as well, and Rory Payton scored his 7th goal of the season, side-footing in from the edge of the box. A really nice composed finish to bring Robin Veldman's side right back into it. They've just kicked off 2-1 Partick Thistle.
Thank you to Kenny Crawford. Jim Duffy is at Celtic Park for us this afternoon. Goal is there, Jim Duffy. Big improvement required from Celtic in the second half.
Yeah, well, no changes at half-time for either side, and St Johnstone have come out, had a free kick early on in the game, got themselves into the Celtic half a couple of times, so maybe that might help Celtic if St Johnstone get a little bit more belief and start pushing forward, but at the moment still 0-0.
So 0-0 in that game. Let's get to Fir Park back underway there, Callum Davidson.
Yeah, just a great chance there for Theo Bair. They made one change. Motherwell, Harry Payton's come on for Joe Efford at half-time. They've definitely gone to a 3-4-3 formation. push Spittle and Slattery further on. But again, a really good ball back post, cut back to Theo Bair. For me, he's got to do better. He's got to at least hit the target.
Who's impressed you in that Kilmarnock side, Callum?
McGuinness has been really good. I think obviously the two young wing backs. But again, the whole team have been quite comfortable today. But I do like the look of their back three. There's a little bit of experience in there, and then there's a little bit of pace and youth as well. So it's a very hard back three to break down because they've got a little bit of everything in their game.
Very early days, Leanne, at Celtic Park. We just heard from Jim Duffy there. Frustrating performance for the Celtic fans to witness in that first half. But my goodness, what a performance in St Johnstone, given the start to the season they've had and how low confidence must be.
Yeah, no, it's a huge first half performance from them. I was actually scrolling through the games, and I think I've gone as far back as the 18th of March this year was the last time that Celtic failed to score a domestic first half goal. So it takes an awful lot of work in organisation, determination, communication across the pitch to shut them out. And I think the work ethic of St Johnstone combined with probably the lack of quality I touched on from Celtic has led to that.
What a great save there. Sorry, Leanne. Another great save from Dimitar Mitov there. And from Matt O'Reilly again. This time Johnson getting to the byline, cuts it back. Again, you think he's got to score, but the goalkeeper again stood up, spread himself, made himself big, pulled off another big save for St Johnstone, still 0-0.
That's a huge save. Real nice bit of play from Celtic, putting it together, and O'Reilly arriving. Jim does. He just connects. He's not your typical goal scorer. I know Brendan Rodgers has asked more of him this season and wants him to add to that tally, but he's probably done everything right, keeping it on target. But the goalkeeper does well.
Yeah, just got to show a wee bit more of a ruthless streak in those couple of situations he's had. He's a cultured footballer, we know that, and he likes to just pass the ball into the net. But that time he's maybe just better getting his laces through it and smashing it and trying to get the pace past the goalkeeper. But listen, taking the hand away, another good save from Mitov in the goal.
Any changes at all from Lee Johnson, Easter Road, Michael Stewart?
Sorry, Kenny, what was that?
Any changes there at all from the manager at half time?
No. It is. Looking at the team, the setup, it's not no personnel changes, there's no system changes, it's all very much like for like, and I can only presume he's basically, not giving them a rollicking, but said to them, look, you've got 10-15 minutes, you better go out and do better, because he spoke before the game that there was a number of players that were getting an opportunity because some of them were frustrated, they've not had a chance. Well, so far up until this point, anybody that has come in hasn't really done anything that's going to change the manager's view of them, I would suggest.
Michael, I could be wrong, but I think David Marshall has been taken off at half time and been replaced by Boric.
Goalkeeper, yes, there you go, David Marshall. And I do wonder, because he got clattered in that challenge.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable at all.
He's clearly been uncomfortable, and substitutions been needed to be changed. And then, as I've just said, with the rest of the team, the outfield players, there's no changes, there's no system changes. So the manager, he's been forced into changing the goalkeeper for Marshall for Boric. Everything else, like for like, they have to do better, or he'll have to be making changes, because there's been quite a few folk just talking about he's under pressure. I mean, when folks start talking like that, then inevitably the pressure starts to build. I don't think it's at that stage yet, personally, but it's not a million miles away.
Could have been 1-1 here. Great move from Dunfermline down the left-hand side. Crew Whiten supplied the ball, just clipped to the outside of the boot. Michael O'Halloran an inch away from netting. It's really good, really close play for Raith Rovers. Survive. Still 1-0 to Raith Rovers.
Right. The difficulty, for Lee Johnson is that if he doesn't pick up points today, they travel to Villa in their next two games, away to Pittodrie and away to Rugby Park. It's only getting tougher. We spoke about the fixtures there at half-time briefly. Perhaps looked as if it was going to be kind to Lee Johnson in the start to the league season, perhaps in terms of playing two out last year's bottom six in the table. They failed to pick up any points. It looks like they're going to fail today. The pressure is only going to continue to intensify.
And look, when you talk about obviously the two, they start getting a situation where no game looks like a game that is or should be comfortable enough picking points up there, because Aston Villa, we've already spoken about how to try and approach that, but whatever way you approach it, the chances are they're not getting anything out of it. And then you look at those two league games that Leanne's just touched on in terms of Pittodrie away and Kilmarnock.
well, Kilmarnock have had an unbelievably good start, and going to Pittodrie is not exactly somewhere that you would suggest is an easy one for Hibs to go to. I mean, conceivably, Hibs could be looking at 5 games into the season and no picking up a point. That really starts to set the tone.
He doesn't survive that, Michael, does he?
No, I think it would be... I was looking at it before this game today, and I was looking, I think I maybe mentioned it on the programme there, that the Viaplay Cup game at the end of the month, but I was counting on Hibs getting something here today. I was thinking that it would be an inconsistent run through until then, but if they lose here today and then they lose Villa, Aberdeen, Kilmarnock, I can't see them surviving that, no.
Adam Frizzell sent off for Airdrie, a second yellow card. They are 2-0 up on Inverness Cally Thistle. I'll put this one to you, Leanne. Inverness Cally Thistle. Message here from Aileen Clifford says, no talk on ICT today, bottom of the league, Billy not being talked about because he's a media darling. The form is dreadful, says Aileen. As things stand, they're bottom of the table and they are going through a really tough time, Leanne.
Yeah, they are, no doubt. I think that the only reason it's probably not been touched on is the fact that we've kind of highlighted games like the Partick Thistle Queen's Park game that's going on. The Fife Derby with Dunfermline and Raith Rovers. You know, there's a lot of positives to be speaking about in the Championship, as there always is. Airdrie have been a really good side. They've started the season strongly. They've taken the advantage today against Inverness, but no doubt Billy Dodds has went through a period like this last season. He managed to weather the storm, but whether he would get that same opportunity this season if that type of form continues, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, 2 substitutions for St Johnstone coming on, just first substitutions of the match here at Celtic Park. There's Stevie Megan on, and I think one of the Browns, James Brown going on, and Stevie Megan on. So first changes for St Johnstone.
Thank you to Jim Duffy. Man United have equalised at home to Nottingham Forest, 2 apiece there. Casemiro with the equaliser in that game. Stennis Muir pulled a goal back. Matthew Aitken 55, Stennis Muir 1, Dumbarton 4 in that game there. So that's you up to date with all the goal news across the country this afternoon. Let's then get to Callum Davis. What have we seen from Motherwell in the second period, Callum?
Not a lot, I'm afraid. Not a lot. I think only 2 bookings to update you on. A booking for Slattery there, and then a booking for Spencer for Motherwell. So 2 yellow cards. That's really all I've got to say since I last spoke to you.
To Callum Davison in that game. It's been a tough spell, and we heard strong words, Leanne, from Stuart Kettlewell last weekend. He wasn't happy with the challenge in the striker. He's now going to be out for a few months. It had been going so well last season, started this season well, but just at the moment perhaps just feeling a wee bit of pressure.
Perhaps just a little bit. I think the reality is now that I think a lot of teams have realised that Motherwell are the side that they are, and it's going to take a hell of a performance to break them down, particularly at Fir Park. So I think they get every ounce of respect from their opponents when they come up against them now, and they know it's going to take a top end performance. In Kilmarnock, they've started the season really well. I don't think anybody could have called this game at the start of today. I think we always knew it was going to be fine margins, not an awful lot in it. But the injury certainly for Stuart Kettlewell will be a huge disappointment at this stage of the season, because it did look like they kind of started the season well, and the big question was going to be goals. Could they replace the loss of Kevin Van Veen last season? It looked like they had managed to do okay in plugging that gap, but now those types of injuries certainly do kill that type of momentum.
The second goal for Raith Rovers here. Sam Stanton went through one-on-one. The goalkeeper, who's been well pursued, pulled the trigger early. Kevin Dabrowski managing to make the save. Dunfermline have come to the other end. They've won a corner. Certainly a much better performance from the home side. And as I say that, the goalkeeper grabs the corner, drops down. Typical the big build-up. Still Dunfermline 0.
Kerry Celtic are definitely going to make substitutions. Brendan Rodgers sat down in the dugout with his staff, had a little conversation. He's now back out and he's waving the substitutes up.
So for Park.
Yep, take it away, Callum.
Yeah, fantastic bit of play, a bit of experience. O'Donnell, a break, a good link by Theo Bair. Probably the first time in the game he's actually done it. O'Donnell wide, slipped a pass into Slattery, fizzed it across. Armstrong should do better, back post, really deal with it. A little bit of composure. Balls in the back of the net. 1-1 here at Fir Park.
Not often you see the centre back in the opposition box, Callum, working his feet the way Casey does. So I can't finish, he does ever so well. I thought he was going to lash it at first time. takes it back inside, composes himself and smashes it home.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's one of those things when you play a back three. I think it's what you do, how your centre half step in, and I think it was a great sort of. It's that momentum, it's that urgency they needed. It wasn't there in the first half. You didn't see him there in the first half, so it does happen when you go goal down. But Motherwell needs some more of it now.
A lot of booing somewhat. You hearing that?
Yeah, I'm hearing it. Could be a few places.
I think it'll be here at Easter Road. The Hibs fans were looking for a penalty kick, which I presume haven't been looked at. They've got a free kick instead, but I don't think there was anything in it personally. I haven't looked at it first time, but the game certainly stopped at the moment, and Hibs are about to be given the drop ball. So again, Celtic are going to make 3 substitutions. I say Kenny, Haksabanovic, Abada and Tony Ralston. Looks as if they're coming on. Celtic, I don't know if he's waiting on a VAR check, but it was a corner to Celtic. It just seems to be taking up a long time.
I think there was calls for a possible handball. Right. I think, is it Considine that defended it for the corner maybe, Jim?
Yeah. Nothing given anyway, and it's a corner to Celtic, but they are going to make those changes in a minute or so.
Is it just a lack of spark? What's missing there? Oh, goal
for Partick Thistle, and it's the number 7, Kerr McInroy again on loan from Kilmarnock. He got his first goal in the first half, and now he's made it 2, and it's a third assist of the afternoon for Stephen Lawless. He poked it into his path, and he just lifted it over, did McInroy, the onrushing Callum McKenna, and it trundled into the bottom corner. Partick Thistle 3, Queen's Park 1.
Check.
It's a goal for Dundee United that breaks the deadlock here at Somerset Park. Corner on the right hand side. 2 or 3 players are up to get ahead. Someone got it in the end, Kenny, I'll tell you in a second. But what for sure has happened is that Dundee United have taken the lead at Somerset Park.
The championship favourites in front there. Partick Thistle really need a point. They look like going on to victory. Kerr McInroy with his second of the game. They're in 57 minutes, leading Queen's Park by 3 goals to 1. Dan Casey with that equaliser for Motherwell in 59 minutes. Motherwell 1, Kilmarnock 1. The Spartans have gone 1-0 up. Spartans, I should say. Michael always corrects me. Spartans have gone 1-0 up away at Peterhead, and that is scored by Jamie Dishington on 61 minutes in that game. Jim Duffy, what's missing from this Celtic performance?
Kenny, just Kevin Holt, I think, with that goal.
Kevin Holt, thanks,
for Dundee United.
Yeah, I mean, just intensity. You know, it's not the same level of intensity. Normally, you know, you come to Celtic Park, your last-ditch tackles, your keepers pulling off wonder saves, a real tempo of the game. Celtic pass the ball, as you see with the stats, dominating the game in terms of possession, but you know, they've only had, you know, sporadic opportunities to score, but they've made those 3 substitutions. Haksabanovic is going to play off Kyogo. I've got Abada in one wing and Yang in the other. Maeda, Turnbull and Johnson came off. So Brendan Rodgers has tweaked it slightly with Haksabanovic now playing almost like a twin striker. He's playing like a 10 off Kyogo now. So they'll have to see whether he can add a little bit of spark. But yeah, it's more than the intensity. It's not the same level, but as I've said before, I think that's been evident round about the stadium as well. It just seems quite flat and almost waiting for something to happen rather than that kind of drive from the fans onto the players.
Checking out, even saying it's a poor game there. United obviously favourites for the championship title. Do you see that class on their side?
Well, I think the game has come alive, in fairness, Kenny, in the second half. I think Jim Goodwin's had a word with these players at half-time. They've certainly injected a bit more pace into their activities, have Dundee United, and one player who escapes any criticism from me is Matthew Cudjoe, who just lights up the game when he gets on the ball. His energy, his enthusiasm about running at the United defence. You can hear the Dundee United supporters in the background. They've just let off a flare, goodness sake, into the end there. Orange smoke everywhere, but a fantastic goal by Kevin Holt. Headed group of players on up, and he got highest of all, and just nodded it beyond the goalkeeper, Charlie Albinson, who's been pretty terrific for Ayr United this afternoon. You feel now that Dundee United might have a grip on this game. There's a new energy about it. Certainly a much better second half.
Stuart Morrison has equalised for Forfar at home to Bonnyrigg Rose. That goal coming on 64 minutes. So the latest scoreline still Celtic 0, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 0, Livingston 1, Motherwell 1, Kilmarnock 1, lunchtime kickoff, Ross County 0, Rangers 2 in the Championship. Airdrie 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Airdrie down to 10 men. Ayr United 0, Dundee United 1, Dunfermline 0, Raith Rovers 1, Morton 0, Arbroath 1, Partick Thistle 3, Queen's Park 1 in League 1, and in Athletic 1, Edinburgh City 2, Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 2, Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 0, Stirling Albion 0, Kelty Hearts 0, 5:30 kickoff, Alloa against Falkirk. In League 2, Elgin City 1, East Fife 0.
That's a goal! That is a goal! What a freak goal that is! It's Louis Moult. He is... It's a devil mistake. He's onside because it's a pass back for United. He's way outside the box. He tries to lob the goalkeeper from about 25 yards. The goalkeeper's scrambling back. He catches it on the line and then stumbles back over the line. And Dundee United have a second goal. Louis Moult, what a nightmare for Charlie Albertson, who was playing so well. Stumbled over the line with the ball in his hands. 2-0.
Yeah, you have to fancy him to go on and win that game now. Jim Goodwin's side, we'll hear from him later in the programme. So I was going through the League 2 score, so I just start again. Elgin City 1, East Fife 0, Forfar 1, Bonnyrigg Rose 2, saying they've just gone ahead. Will get the goal scorer in the next minute. Peterhead 0, Spartans 1, Sennismuir 1, Dumbarton 4, Stranraer 0, Clyde 0. In England, lunchtime kickoff, it finished Bournemouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Arsenal 0, Fulham 1, Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0, Wolves 0, Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 2. United coming back there from 2 goals down. 5:30, Brighton at home to West Ham United. Yeah, confirmation coming through of that second goal for United. Louis Moult in the 62nd minute. Michael Stewart, what's happening at Easter Road?
Not very much. You know, it's you were talking about any changes at half time, and you know there wasn't any. There was no tactical changes. There was nothing. You're expecting that it would have been a case of, right, go and do something. Here's Martin Boyle bursting through. There's a chance though to get a goal, and he does. There you go. Martin Boyle, out of nothing, bursts forward past the defence, cuts inside, he slams it past Jamal George with the left foot. Nothing up until that point. It's a goal that's come completely against any sort of form and run of play, and has grabbed Hibs right back into this game. And it's Martin Boyle, it's the man that inevitably they look to try to get them back into things. He's a talisman, and he's come up with a huge moment for Hibs and for Lee Johnson as well, because you're looking at that, what are we now, 60 odd minutes, and it was flat. They've got a goal now to get themselves right back into this.
It's a special finish, Michael. He's got really an awful lot of work to do when he picks that ball up in the wide area, but the pace when he puts the burners on, jeez, but he cuts back inside in the right boot, finishes with the left and smashes it into the net. I mean, you're maybe looking for a bit of composure, certainly. I think that shows you every ounce of frustration that's felt on Easter Road this afternoon in that finish. Does really well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The 61st minute, Hibs drawing at level. Just confirmation of that goal that as Bonnyrigg Rose back in front away at Forfar. Louis Fay with the goal there on 66 minutes.
Kenny, I was just going to say though, I mean, look, this is, you know, a huge lift for Hibs, but if they don't kick on here, oh, here we go, Livy 2-1.
Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Wow.
Literally, I was just saying it. If they don't kick on, and you can just see the attack unfolding down Livy's left-hand side. Look, it's a good goal from Livy, but it's so easy. So easy. So easy. A 1-2. Huge amount of space for Penrice to clip the ball into the box, and then you've got Bruce Anderson, who's come on smaller than any of the Hibs defenders, leaps up, knocks into the back of the net. Easy as you like. 2-1. So it was 1-1, and I was just saying, if Hibs don't kick on from here, then there's serious questions to be asked. Well, not only have they not kicked on,
3v2, Michael, inside the 6-yard box. 3v2, Anderson just peels off in between the two, as you say, smallest guy inside the box.
Oh my goodness.
Nods at home, frightening. I'm actually almost lost for words. It's remarkable.
Well, you said it, Michael, the defence, serious problems in that Hibs defence. It's not been addressed.
No, it's
they're not good enough.
Another
It's
change for
simple.
Celtic. James Forrest coming on for Greg Taylor. Actually, no, is it? No, it's Wang. It's coming off. Sorry,
Thanks, Jim.
Yang. Sorry. But, also, St Johnstone had to. They lost Andy Considine, which could be a big blow in the last 20 minutes because he's been outstanding in the game. But unfortunately, got a hamstring, so he's off.
Yeah, just not good enough for Hibs. It looked as if they had a lifeline there. Could they kick on? What, a minute or so later, Livy back in front. Can they find another way back? Bruce Anderson with a goal there on 63 minutes. And in Athletic have equalised at home to Edinburgh City. Dominic Doherty with a goal there in 60 minutes. It's 2 apiece in that game. It's just incredible, Leanne, just seeing that defending
Here's
there.
Livy going again. They're breaking forward. Lucas into the box. It's taking forever to do anything. I think Diego's done enough to get it behind for a by kick, but I tell you, there are gaping holes in this Hibs backline. And Eli Yuhan, you try to be positive in terms of some of the things that he does. He's not even looking at the ball. Marshall's trying to play it quickly. I mean, you try to be positive and accentuate the things that he does that can help the team, but it happens far too infrequently. And it just gives too little for me. Gives too little. And they're making changes now. There's 3 subs. Christian Deutsch has just come off. There's going to be Campbell's coming on. Adam Lafondra is coming on as well. And who else is coming on? Vente as well. So Campbell, Lafondra and Vente coming on. And off is going... Is that Harbottle's gone off? The thing is, they're diving off at all different parts of the park here. Harbottle's gone off, Obita's gone off, and so has Deutsch. So a number of changes there for Hibs, trying to obviously get the reaction, but they're 2-1 down. And I just, when you just get a sense that things are going in a certain direction, and I'm not convinced that they're going to be able to turn this round.
Well, you called it correctly earlier on, no doubt about that. Just some updates for you. Nottingham Forest down to 10 men. Joe Worrell sent off. It's 2 apiece there. Away to Manchester United. Yeah, save there.
What a save. Mitrov again there. St Johnstone goal. Celtic take a quick corner. Comes to the edge of the box. Alex Ivanovic. He's had a fantastic strike through a ruck of players. And the goalkeeper at full stretch. Fingertips round the post for another corner, and an absolutely magnificent save.
I think he's injured himself in the process, Jim. Either that or he's took a bit of cramp. I'm
never ever quite sure about goalkeepers getting cramp, especially with 20 minutes to go. But listen, it was a fantastic save early on.
Yeah, he's done really, really well. He's been the difference this afternoon. Certainly, St Johnstone, the 10 in front of him, have performed well, but he's had some big moments.
Kenny, we were talking about Joe Nuble's importance to Livingston earlier. Bruce Anderson's such a good striker, and he always get goals even though he is small. And I think the problem has been for the last couple of seasons, there always seems to be chunks of the season when he's out injured, but see if you can just keep Bruce Anderson fit, he will get a lot of goals for Livy.
Yeah,
chance for
deadly in that box. Yes, Paul?
Yeah, Ewan Otto scooping the ball up and over from the edge of the area. Dunfermline been an awful lot better in the second half, Kenny. They're causing more and more problems. Raith are going to make a change. Lewis Vaughan will come onto the field. He'll replace the goal scorer Sam Stanton, but certainly the home side coming more and more into this, but they still trail by 1-0.
Arsenal back in against Fulham. Saka with the equaliser there on 70 minutes, 1 apiece. Arbroath are now 2-0 up away at Morton. It's an Ian Wilson own goal there on 73. Forfar are down to 10 men. Finn Robson sent off on 71 minutes. Some relief perhaps for Billy Dodds. Inverness Cali Thistle back in it against 10-man Airdrie. Nathan Shaw with a goal there on 70 minutes, but they trail by 2-1. Queen of the South are down to 10 men away to Cove Rangers. Botterill sent off on 68 minutes. Alan Troughton has equalised in the penalty spot for East Fife away Elgin City. That one is now 1 apiece. So let's go round the ground. Haven't heard from you for a while, Callum Davison. Who's got the edge there at Fir Park?
Just a great chance for Motherwell. You come back to me more often. Every time you want to speak to me, there's been a chance.
Sorry. A chance for St Johnstone there on the break. And Joe Hart's had the ball. His first save was actually a decent save, but terrific play from St Johnstone down the flanks there. And as it was Dara Costello flicked it over Scales on his left foot, smashed it, and Joe Hart had to flick it away with his left hand for a corner to St Johnstone. But almost another shock here at Celtic Park.
He's tied Liam Scales in knots, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Scales should have dealt with it, but I mean, fair play to Costello. Ran up, flicked over his head, showed a wee bit of calmness, and then a terrific left foot strike.
Arsenal are in front now against Fulham. Edin Ketia with a goal there on 72 minutes. Arsenal 2, Fulham 1 in that game. Let's then, Jim, just talk about the St Johnstone performance, because I think everyone thought they could be in the wrong end of a really sore one today, but my goodness, they performed with absolute credit, haven't they?
Yeah, been brilliant. I mean, tactically now they've been superb. They've played a kind of 4-4-1-1. You can see the two strikers have worked on, one of them dropping on Callum McGregor when the ball's with the neither Celtic centre-back. They've looked very comfortable with the ball, really. They haven't, pushed forward or driven forward. Obviously, that's something that maybe Stevens looked at and they say, well, look, leave the two centre-halves on the ball, make sure McGregor doesn't dominate the way he normally does, and then your two banks of four. Been excellent, have been outstanding. I've kept it tight, and when the Celtic have had it white and they've flashed those balls across the goal, they've either had last minute blocks or terrific goalkeeping saves as you need. You need your goalkeeper to be in top form at Celtic Park. All credit St Johnstone, tactically they've been outstanding.
What about the home fans here, Jim? A bit of unrest?
No unrest, just a bit flat, but again you would expect that to a certain extent, because they
penalty for Park.
Yes, Callum?
Yeah, penalty there across. Motherwell have actually been a lot better the last 15 minutes. Ball's come in the box. Armstrong stretching for it. I wasn't quite sure it was going to be a penalty when he's given it, but the referee's pointed straight to the spot. Not a lot of complaints from the Kilmarnock players. Again, obviously, Dan, you might help me out. He might go to VAR.
It might do. It's Dan Casey again in the opposition box, which is incredible. Just going to a replay of it just now. There's not an awful lot in it, I would need to say.
Was it inside the box?
Just, I think. Just.
Yeah, look
I'm
inside
sure
the box.
VAR will definitely go through this with a fine-tooth comb.
I thought we were going to get away with VAR today. I thought it was nice.
I know, well,
it was a nice, easy game. It was no VAR involved. But
5 minutes or so ago, Callum, I was about to tempt fate and say it's been the quietest day I've had in the studio. Not been too much to look over.
Motherwell definitely been the better team this half. They changed the formation 3-4-3. I think Derek just tweaked it about five minutes ago, changing their formation as well. So it's all about tactics a little bit this half, and definitely Motherwell with Slattery and Spittle, they've been much better second half.
And I'm not 100% sure if it is inside the box, Kenny, from the angle we've just seen from.
Yeah, I just had a quick look there.
I mean, both players do end up outside the box, which is certainly not helping.
Crystal Palace equalised with Brentford. Joachim Andersen with the goal there in 76 minutes. That's 1 apiece. We still await this VAR decision. A big decision, a big call. The hands at the ear now, Leanne, at Fir Park.
Yeah, it maybe just looks as if it's just on the line. No, it's definitely inside. It's inside. Yeah. If there's contact, then penalty is the correct decision.
Still we wait. Kilmarnock were ahead in that game. Marley Watkins with the first half goal, but Motherwell far better. Callum Davis and Tellings in the second half. Casey equalised on 59 minutes. They could have an opportunity, a big opportunity now to go ahead in this game. Still we wait. We can see Stuart Kettlewell on the touchline there.
Definite penalty. He's given it. So gone to VAR. Penalty. Slattery's going to step up and take it.
Huge opportunity for Motherwell. Slattery will take the spot kick. Callum will tell us what happens in that one. Still we wait for a goal at Celtic Park as we count down towards full time in that one. And don't forget, a big story could be developing at Easter Road this evening. Hibs 2-1 down to Livingston. They got themselves back in the game. 2 minutes later they were behind once again. Now we cross to Fir Park. Callum Davidson.
Yep, Slattery right footed. Still waiting. Kilmarnock have just made a substitution in between the VAR decision and penalty. It's quite strange.
A lot of pressure in this spot kick anyway, Callum.
Yeah, he's standing there for a wee while now. He's been standing there for probably 3 or 4 minutes. Referee's just checking the box. Here he comes. Steps up, right foot. Saved by the goalie. Down to the goalie's left hand side. Great save by the young goalie from Kilmarnock. Keeps him in the game.
So Callum Slattery, that penalty saved. Man United have scored a penalty. They're now 3-2 up at home to Nottingham Forest. Bruno Fernandes with a goal there on 76 minutes. What a chance missed there, Leanne. My goodness, what a chance had to go ahead.
Yeah, it's a huge chance. And these are the moments, I suppose this is the psychology.
Hold on.
The bit of our check.
Hold on, we're going to VAR again.
He's come off his line too early.
Do you think so?
It did look like it when he saved it.
Very similar to one of the ones in the World Cup recently, just marginal, but I think he jumped forward as I was looking at it.
this is the question, is the consistency, isn't it?
Yeah.
What you want, it's a very difficult one for the goalies to, when they're stepping forward, they step behind the line.
I know, it's so hard. Because your natural reaction is to come forward. A lot of them seem to have mastered it very well.
It's the same with encroachment, Leanne. You know, there's so many times that just not every player encroaches, but they've kind of made the rules now, you know.
Yep, the goalie was okay, he's passed the test.
You've seen it from behind the goal as well, Callum. Good save.
Callum, I'd be interested, did any of the players complain that the goalkeeper had moved early?
No, everyone just played on.
Yeah, see, there's getting more and more decisions that, you know, the assistant referees are getting involved. The VAR, when absolutely nobody on the pitch appears to think there's an issue.
I know, but you shouldn't need to claim, though. I think the reality is that VAR's there and should be checking everything that happens anyway. I think, was that not what was dished out at the start of the season, that players have not to surround the referee and protest?
Because we were told that you have to get the players just to move on and keep playing, keep playing, and then they'll make a decision within that time. So
I'm not talking about protesting around the referee, but you tend to, from the body language, you tend to think.
Oh my word, Livingston are in.
It's a hard one to see.
Oh, what a finish! 3-1 Livingston.
Wow.
Game over. Good night, Vienna.
Where is the Hibs defence, Michael?
It's unbelievable. Joel Nubley has got the ball on the halfway line, and he clips the ball over the back of Will Fish. And like you just said, as the ball goes over, or even as he's clipping the ball forward, you think to yourself, where is the Hibs defence? And then it just and then it just drops for Sanger, and he leathers it with his left foot. Great finish, an absolutely brilliant finish.
Dunfermline with a chance. Oh, what a save for the goalkeeper! Wonderful move by Otto. He stepped it inside. He looked like he would shoot himself. He managed to pull it back to Lewis McCann, who drilled it in, and somehow Dubovsky got a hand to it. What a save that is!
My goodness, it's all happening, no doubt about that. Hibs, I just don't know what to say. I mean,
no, but listen, the finish, this is an absolute cracker as well. But what I would need to say is the goalkeeper's positioning is questionable as well. We know the half-time change came with Marshall going off and Boric coming on, and he's found wanting. He's absolutely unable to influence the ball at all. But the finish is top drawer as well. But
where are you thinking he should be? Are you talking about for the strike?
He's quite far out, I thought. Yeah.
Right.
He's almost sold himself. I think if he started to retreat a bit quicker, don't know if he's maybe caught in two minds where he thought he could influence it by coming out to start with Michael, but it looks to me like he's stranded.
Right, but I mean, I hear that, but I mean, and I think you'll agree with me. Oh, here's a chance for Hibs. Oh, terrible. Shamal George fluffs a clearance straight to Lafondra, and all he needs to do is pick out Josh Campbell with a 5-yard pass, and he hits it straight at the defender. It's gone behind for a corner kick for Hibs here, but you know, I was going to say, I think you'll agree with me, the biggest problem for Hibs, the defence is no good enough.
No.
Simple. I mean, that is just a straight. I mean, look, it's a good ball from Joel Newbill, but it shouldn't even be a ball that's on. Like, as soon as he hits it, you just think to yourself, that's going over Will Fish's head. And here we go again. Livy are on the break again. It's cleared though. Hibs have managed to clear it. I mean, this game really, if Hibs are no careful and they really start pushing it to try to get back in, Livy could hit them on the counter-attack again. And even as it stands, this is getting close to being trouble for the manager, I think. It's getting close.
So dreadful defending from the away side at Easter Road. Sorry, the home side at Easter Road this afternoon. The away side defending very, very well at Celtic Park, Jim Duffy.
Yeah, I mean, again, St Johnstone on the break there. You could just sense the nerves around about Celtic Park now. The fans are getting restless. A lot of fans in front of me standing up, gesticulating to Brendan Rodgers and to the players, you know, really frustrated, particularly when they pass the ball back. But that's because St Johnstone are so well organised and so disciplined. But St Johnstone made another substitution there. McPherson coming on, Bernaby came on for Celtic just a few minutes ago for Taylor. But you know, again, you know, the longer the game goes, the more belief that St Johnstone will have. But we do know that Celtic have an unbelievable record of scoring late goals. There's no doubt about that, and I think that'll probably in the back of the minds of Johnstone players. And Stephen McLean really want to make sure these players stay fully focused for the 90 plus minutes that will surely come.
Jim, we know they've got issues at the back. He's spoken about wanting to add to central defensive options, Brendan Rodgers. But what about the top end of the park? Are they a bit light there as well, do you think?
Oh, definitely. You know, I mean, obviously O's missing, and Kyogo's had one or two little half chances we would normally expect him to hit the tag. Hasn't even hit the target. A similar one to one in the first half. And as I speak, Stevie May's going right through. He's got Joe Hart in front of him. Can Stevie May nick it? Because you can't. Oh, Joe Hart's made a big save there, 1v1. And the Carey's just dinked the rebound over the bar, but Stevie May, just the angle there, his last touch took him a wee bit wide, but he got away from the Celtic defence so comfortably. Again, could have made it an unbelievable day for St Johnstone if they'd managed to stick that away. Joe Hart come up with a big save.
It's good play from St Johnstone. What I've liked about them this afternoon, Jim, is that when they've won the ball back, they've looked to try and play, which is massive when you're at Celtic Park or Ibrox and you're out of possession for the huge spells that you are.
Yeah, just that there's a few of them falling down now with the cramp, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what the referee will add on further down the line, but we know that when players are going down now, they're told to add it on, so it wouldn't surprise me for 7+ minutes, because there's been the goalkeepers in cramp, a couple of the players have been cramp. They're just, listen, understand from John's point of view, take every opportunity to slow the game down, but from Celtic's point of view, they really need to get a goal. Rangers winning today puts enormous pressure on them.
Dumbarton down to 10 men. Pignatello sent off in 82 minutes. Fulham down to 10 men against Arsenal. Ugalumba sent off on 83 minutes. So still we await Celtic breaking the deadlock there at Celtic Park. But Stevie May had a good chance. It was a tight angle, but a good blocking save from Joe Hart. That's another player I think a lot of Celtic fans feel needs to be upgraded, that position. Let's then get back to Fir Park. That big chance in the penalty spot. It was saved. Callum Davison, what's happening there in the latter stages?
Absolutely nothing.
No? Again, a big build-up.
Not a lot, really. You give it a big build-up. It's been really scrappy. The ball spent more time in the air. Nothing's happened since I last spoke to you.
Is a draw a fair reflection, Callum?
I think so. I think if you go in either half, I think Kamara much better first half, Motherwell much better second half. So at the moment, it's draws a fair result at the moment.
We spoke about VAR as a manager. Were you a fan of it? Does it help our game?
It definitely does help the game. I think just obviously we all talk about the speed and decision making. There's still probably the issues there with it, but yeah, definitely helps come to the right decision at certain times in the game.
Right, let's then get into the Championship. Chick Young is at Somerset Park for us. The title favourites well in control there, Chick.
I would say so, Kenny. I think they've got a real grip in the game. Much better second half, 2 goals to head. Remember Kevin Holt with a header and then they have a corner kick on the right side, and then Louis Moult. Well, do you know, Louis Moult tried to lob the goalkeeper. He kind of caught it, Charlie Albinson, on the line and then stumbled over the line. Not entirely sure if that doesn't go down as an own goal in reflection, but we'll analyse that one later. However you slice it, Dundee United 2-0 ahead. The one bright spot for me for Ayr United is the introduction of Jack Young. They've got him on loan until January from Wycombe Wanderers. He's come on and made a real impact in this game with a terrific shot, actually. The goalkeeper Jack Walton did well to deal with in the United goal, so he's made an impact. Aidan McGiddy, you just wish you could roll back the years. He does little things in the game, terrific ability on the ball, sees passes, but I just think the fitness, it's old age, isn't it? Apparently it comes to us all, Kenny, old age.
I love watching Aidan McGeady, I have to say. Airdrie 2, Inverness Cardiff Thistle 1, Ayr United 0, Dundee United 2, Dunfermline 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Morton 0, Arbroath 2, Partick Thistle 3, Queen's Park 1. In the top flight this afternoon, we kicked off at lunchtime. Ross County 0, Rangers 2, Celtic 0, St Johnstone 0, Hibs 1, Livingston 3, Motherwell 1, Kilmarnock 1. Motherwell with a chance to go in front, but the penalty from Slattery was saved in that game. Into League 1, Annan Athletic 2, Edinburgh City 2, Cove Rangers 0, Queen of the South 2, Queen's down to 10 men. Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 0, Stirling Albion 1, Kelty Hearts 0. 5:30 kick-off. Alloa against Falkirk. That Stirling Albion goal has just come in. Josh Cooper on 88 minutes. What a spell it has been for Stirling Albion. Fulham have equalised away at Arsenal. Yao Polinia with a goal there on 87 minutes. In League 2 this afternoon, Elgin City 1, East Fife 1, Forfar 1, Bonnyrigg Rose 2, Forfar down to 10 men, Peterhead 0, Spartans 1, Stennismuir 1, Dumbarton 4, Dumbarton also down to 10 men, Stranraer 0, Clyde 0. In England this afternoon, Arsenal 2, Fulham 2, Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 2, 5:30 kick-off, Brighton at home to West Ham. At the lunchtime kick-off, Bournemouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Everton have just gone behind.
Here we go again. Joel Newbley's into the box. Oh, James Jeggle gets back to put it past the post. It's there for Livy just to keep counting on them. Hibs are so weak. They're so weak.
Are the Hibs fans hanging about, Michael?
It's pretty sparse. There's quite a few of them that have left. It's the spirit and stuff for the Hibs supporters. Look, they've got a bit of quality in their squad. They need to strengthen defensively. They should be doing infinitely better than what they're doing. Infinitely better. I still don't know what it is they're trying to do.
Yeah, you've said that for a long time, Michael. You just don't see an identity to the style of play under Lee Johnson.
And Ellie Youhan's the type of guy that will get you sacked.
Yeah, you can see a small band of Livy fans down in the corner there. What a day it could be for them. What a day it could be for St Johnstone fans. They're hanging on there at Celtic Park. Jim Duffy.
Yeah, there's another quality Celtic. I don't know many have well into double figures, I think, anyway. But
off the crossbar
again, the
from
goalkeeper's came. He's kind of punched it. It's hanging up in the air. But Celtic have still got the ball on the edge of the box. James Forrest missed a chance with a header a few minutes ago. I think he probably should have done a little better, put over the bar. But St Johnstone hanging on in there. And again, it's a poor decision, I think, from Celtic there in terms of the header. Should have looked to be set up a teammate rather than go for goal. And the balls went harmlessly by for a goal kick. So, yeah, I mean, it's just coming up for 89 minutes here. Kenny and St Johnstone 0-0. Still look very, very organised. Looked very assured. Looked confident. The Celtic will have to come up with something really special in injury time.
I think the referee's checking a possible handball here. It would be a penalty for Livy. It was Sangara was on the left hand side. He cut back. Josh Campbell was sliding in to try and block it. And I need to see it again in terms of where his arms are.
I think it's the arm that's supporting the body, Michael. Yeah.
I just wasn't sure whether as he slid in, whether it was that, or whether it was just that his arms were even above his head.
I thought initially as he went to block, that arm was kind of coming out for the body, but no, it comes off him just as he's sliding on the grass. And Jim, I was just going to say that would have been Celtic's 18th corner, I think.
Wow. I knew it was plenty.
Yeah.
But they've only really tested the goalkeeper once, I think, from, and that was maybe one of the first or second ones when Turnbull played it to O'Reilly and he had a decent save in the first half. Other than that, he's been largely untested.
Let's go back into the Championship. Kenny Crawford looking at a home win there at Firhill.
Yeah, 3 minutes of normal time to go. Kenny still Partick Thistle that leads 3-1.
It's a goal for Hibs. Josh Campbell, 3-2. It was a ball in from the right hand side. Joe Newell cut onto his left foot. He fizzed it in. There's loads of bodies in Shamal George's way. I don't know whether he could have or should have done better, but he fumbled it out into his 6-yard box area, and Josh Campbell was able to scramble it across the line to get Hibs 3-2.
8 minutes here, Kenny. 8 minutes injury time at Celtic Park.
Well, can they hold on? St Johnstone's been a fantastic rear guard performance. Don't forget they had that chance in the second half. Stevie May denied a decent save, you'd have to say, from Joe Hart in that one. Morton are now 3-0 down at home to Arbroath. Yeah, Baldi with the goal there on 94 minutes.
I don't know what it's getting checked for, but the game's been held. The VAR signal's up on the screens. The goal's been checked as play on. Is it? Yes, it would appear. I don't know what that was being checked for, but anyway, the goal stands.
Right, Hibs, can they get that grandstand finish at Easter Road? Full-time score coming in, Forfar 1, Bonnyrigg Rose 2 in that game. So what, about 6-7 minutes still to play at Celtic Park, Jim Duffy?
Yeah, well, as I said, there was 8 minutes went up. We played probably about a minute and a half of that. Celtic, as you would expect, trying to push for this winner. Fans, quite a lot of number of fans have left the stadiums, a few gaps about. I think they've been really quite disenchanted with the performance today and can understand why to a certain extent, but all credit to St Johnstone if they can see this out.
What a huge result it would be for Stephen McLean's side. We heard from him before the game. I have to say, he sounded fairly confident, fairly relaxed. He spoke about the problems he's had. He's added to the squad. Can they hang on and get that much-needed point? Could that kickstart their season after a dreadful run in the League Cup and a poor start to their league campaign? I don't have Chick's back with us on note. He's away in television duties. Chick, you there? Not yet, no. Kevin Holt has scored a third for Dundee United. So Ayr United 0, Dundee United 3. Tommy Goss looks to have got a late winner for Annan Athletic at home to Edinburgh City. They lead by 3 goals to 2 in that one. The goal coming through, Josh Campbell's goal, 86 minutes. So will we see Michael Stewart a grandstand finish from the home side? Have they got it in them?
You know what? I would say no, but then Hibs being so typically unpredictable, nothing would surprise me in football. But look, they've not been good enough. Plain and simple.
Somerset Park, Kenny.
Yeah, Chick. Yeah, Kevin Holt again.
It's another one for Dundee. It's another one for Dundee United. It's 3-0 now. It's pretty easy now. Ayr United have kind of fallen apart. Ball played to the far post, and it was Kevin Holt, I think, with the tap in at the far post. His second of the afternoon, and Dundee United a convincing victory in the end. It didn't look like that at half time, but they have got 3 points against Ayr United this afternoon. Second for Holt.
Let's get back to Fir Park. Who's pushing there in the closing stages? Callum Davidson.
A great chance here. Spittle 20 yards out, free kick. Oh, just past the post. Kilmarnock have actually come back into the game. The game's become a little bit stretched. Great chance for Vassell just before he actually got hooked and taken off. Slattery dithered on the ball. Kenny slipped him in the left hand side. He's got to do better and hit the target. It was a fantastic chance for Kilmarnock to take the lead.
Stirling Albion beating Kelty Hearts by 1-0. That goal coming in the second half. So let's get back to Celtic Park. Jim Duffy, describe the action there.
Yeah, I mean, against Celtic, popping the ball about, and Abada's there just cut in from the right on his left foot, the edge of the box, went comfortably into the arms of Mitov, and the goal again. One of the St Johnstone players is down with cramp, I think. But it's been relatively comfortable for St Johnstone. They haven't really had to make last-ditch tackles. Celtic, you can see that hear the fans really getting frustrated, and I think that's transmitted onto one or two players. They're scared to take risks. They've played square passes, back passes far too often, and as a result, St Johnstone are still in this situation where they're going to pick up an unbelievably valuable point at Celtic Park.
Full-time scoreline: Peterhead 0, Spartans 1. Right, Michael Stewart, Easter Road. How long to play there?
Well, the board's just gone up. 5 minutes injury time. Obviously, Hibs are pushing. Martin Boyle's in there. Oh, he knocked it down. A wee header into Lafondra's path. The defender just muscled him out the way a little bit. It's got behind for a corner kick. I mean, look, the Hibs are pushing here to try to get something from the game. It's up to Livingston now to just make sure that they're resolute in their defending, and potentially, as I said earlier on, they've got guys that can hit them on the counter-attack. But at this stage, 3-2 up, injury time, they'll just try and defend and see this game out. Ball comes in from Newell, it's headed away. It's not good enough from Hibs. It's simply not good enough.
Hamilton Accies have beaten Montrose by 1-0. Another goal come in there, if I could just find it. Full-time Airdrie 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 1. We heard from a Cally Thistle fan earlier on, not at all happy with Billy Dodds. It's been a dreadful start to the season for them. That goal was for Stranraer. Oliver McDonald, the 96th minute. They lead Clyde by 1-0. Take us to Celtic Park. Jim Duffy, take us to the action there. What's happening?
Chance goal! Motherwell!
I'll leave it to Callum.
Take it away, Callum.
Fantastic play. Young debutant Spencer, Brodie Spencer down the left, combined with Spittle. He's actually shanked his toss to the edge of the box. Great composure. I think it was Harry Payton who come on to the end of it. A little bit of composure, stepped inside, side foot in the bottom corner. What a time to score.
That's a lovely finish.
Full time at Somerset Park is Ayr United 0, Dundee United 3.
Thanks, Stuart.
The two finishes from Motherwell this afternoon have been sublime, Callum.
Yeah,
he could have lashed it at first time because it sat well for him, but he chops back inside, just real composure. Brilliant finish.
Definitely made a difference, Peyton, when he came on second half. You know, that little bit of composure. You could slot him if he didn't actually score, but composure was fantastic.
Just sells the two defenders.
Yeah. Sometimes you get that type of cross where you don't quite catch the cross, and it just goes behind the defenders, and they can't quite get to. They're all stretching. Last ditch. All of a sudden, 2-1 Motherwell.
Jim Duffy, what's happening there?
Yeah, I think it's going to finish 0-0. I mean, St John's are right up at the halfway line. The ball's in the goalkeeper's hands. He's just going to kick it long. I'm surprised if the referee plays much longer here. So it looks as if St John's is going to have
2-1 Motherwell.
Thanks, Callum. 98th minute, that winner for Harrison Payton. The late show for Motherwell. They had a penalty to save, but they weren't to be denied. They've got the 3 points.
I make it 1 minute to play, Jim. Since you put up the 8 minutes on the screen,
yeah, well, St John's are keeping the ball well, and still exactly where they want it, down towards the Celtic half.
Thank you, Paul.
Dunfermline lost at home to Wraith Rovers, whose fine start to the season continues. Sam Stanton's goal after 36 minutes, the difference. Dunfermline Athletic 0, Wraith Rovers 1.
Still we play at Easter Road, still we play at Celtic Park. 2 shock score lines on the card, but there is time to go. It's deep into stoppage time. A full-time score line coming through there. Stranraer 1, Clyde 0. That goal coming deep into stoppage time, or deep into stoppage time at Celtic Park. Jim Duffy.
Corner for Celtic. Cam McPherson kind of miscued his header actually and went out for a corner, but I don't know, another booking I think for someone, somebody with St Johnson player. Phillips has this time gone down, but he needs to get up because he has to defend the corner for his team. So Haksabanovic going to take this corner. Celtic's last chance really.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes on the clock now, Jim.
Yeah.
My goodness, what drama this could be. It could be absolute heartache for Stephen McLean. Phillips is limping there, cramped. They put in a heck of a shift, have the St Johnson players, but here is the last chance.
So the referee running all the way over to the halfway line to book one of the staff at St John's a yellow card. So it's Liam Craig, I think, is getting the booking. But listen, to me, I don't really see the point of that. If he's going to let the corner go, take the corner and then blow the final whistle, that's what you're going to do. But nevertheless, Celtic's last chance.
Here we go. The corner's going to come in here. Celtic's last chance to steal the points against St Johnson.
Brilliant for the keeper, anticipated it, game everybody at his way, grasping it, absolutely fantastic. Dimitrov and Mitov been outstanding, but as is every single St Johnson player, all credit to them, thoroughly deserved. I mean, listen, you can go on about the corners of possession, but if you're a team of St Johnson's resources, you come to Celtic Park, keep a clean sheet, you deserve all the credit you can get.
Michael Stewart, what's happening Easter Road?
0-0 Celtic.
Thank you, Jim Duffy. Thanks, Jim. Michael, what's happening Easter Road?
It's, I think, just the closing stages here, but there's another chance there from Bruce Anderson. The ball over the top, and he had a shot on target. Well, he had the chance to get a shot on target. He blazed it high and wide, but free kick just now, midway in Livingston's half. I think when they play this free kick, the referee will blow his whistle for full time. And the West Lothian side will have 3 points.
Partick Thistle 3, Queen's Park 1. 1 for Brian Graham, 2 for Kerr McInroy, and 3 assists for Stephen Lawless.
Full time at Easter Road. 3-2 to Livingston.
My goodness, we will be joined by a Hibs fan or two in the 5:30 slot. Celtic fans coming on as well. I know a lot of them weren't happy with the comments from Brendan Rodgers this week that the squad is weaker than it was last season. It's been a slow start under the Celtic manager. Of course, went out of the League Cup last weekend away at Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock looked to be on course for the points at Fir Park this afternoon, but what a fantastic second half performance from Stuart Kettlewell's side. Payton with a winning goal there in the 98th minute. So Motherwell 2, Kilmarnock 1. Hibs going down 3-2 at home to Livingston. And what a point for St Johnson at Celtic Park. That game finished goalless. A lunchtime kick-off today. Ross County 0, Rangers 2. Roof and Tavernier with the goals there. So all the reaction to come. Will be joined by fans of various clubs. So many talking points. As ever, Scottish football delivers. Stay with us in sports, and we're with you right through until 7 o'clock. We're back with you after the BBC Radio Scotland news at 5 o'clock.
On digital radio.